ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we got a movie delay and some Halo TV show news that we'll get to. In trailer talk, we have three very exciting new trailers for three movies I'm very excited for. We'll get to the new streaming list, of course. It's your first week of the month, so a good list at that. And we'll get to what we're watching, and then our main review for the episode. F9. Function 9. F9?
F9. Fine.
Yeah.
Finine? Who knows, man? I think on IMDb it's F9 : The Fast Saga.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't either. So for our purposes, we're just going to be referring it to as F9. F9 for short. Joining me today, of course, and as always, is Nathaniel Gingrich. It had to make a return, Nathaniel.
It's okay. It's one of my faves.
Yeah, I like it too.
It's
got a good ring to it. I think you should just make your Twitch name Nas.
You think so? I think that might be taken at this point.
You think that's trademarked?
I think someone might have that.
Yeah, potentially. Also joining me today, Tight Turn Ty, taking all those tight ass turns. How are you doing, Ty?
Good, man. Just trying to watch the understeer, oversteer, and really trying to make those tight turns connect really well.
Yeah, I mean your Fiesta's got a pretty short wheelbase, so you can make a lot of those tight turns, right?
It is, and it is also front-wheel drive, so I don't have to worry about the fishtail too much. But sometimes you never know. It's got a little bit of a body roll, but it is got a low center of gravity, so it does help.
It's a lot of terms that I wish I knew, but I will just roll with it.
Yeah, that's right. We've just fully transitioned to car talk.
Welcome to Car Talk. Rounding
Backseat banter.
Rounding out Car Talk is big burnout BlakeHolder.
What up?
It's good that you say that with that emphasis every time. Otherwise, it could really be just very demoralizing. A big burnout Blake.
Yeah.
It's burnout Blake.
I don't mind it, man. I mean, you got to have a rear-wheel drive car for that most of the time.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Yeah,
a lot of horsepower, but luckily, Fast 9 has a ton of that. There's a Hellcat in there, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Blake, you're like a closet car guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I like cars. Maybe not the biggest car guy here, right? I'm sure that goes to Tyler. But I've definitely kind of gotten to cars. I'd probably say the past like 5 or 6 years or so. So through various movies, video games.
Would you ever like get like an older car and like fix it up, or are you more like kind of a new is better? I want to be on the cutting edge kind of.
If I knew how to build, I would. But not having anyone to be able to kind of teach me that or learn at this age, I mean, that's going to be super time consuming. Mm-hmm. But if I could, that would definitely be the way to go. Or even if I could find just like an old school, and put like some fucking 24s on it, I'd be a person.
For sure.
Favorite cars or dream cars? Should we go dream cars around?
Right now it's that RX-7 that I keep talking about.
The one that Han drives?
Not that body, or not that body, but that car, and then just do it up differently.
Gotcha.
But yeah, who knows? I'll probably change.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the benefit. I think that's as you get older, that's one of the things about it. Your favorites can change. You're not married to anything. I know this is a crazy concept.
Oh, not crazy at all, Nathaniel. I'm right there with you.
You mean opinions can change?
Sometimes.
People can change.
I would have never guessed.
Ty, Blake, favorite car, dream cars? Sorry, I keep going to favorites. Dream cars?
Here's the thing about dream cars.
You're going to have 15.
Lay it on me here, Ty.
If you're really, I mean, not even like a car guy, but if you have a dream car, you probably, have done a little bit of dabbling and you at least have some kind of interest in cars. Otherwise, there's a lot of people in this world that are just like, it's a fucking car, dude, A to B. I don't care.
Right.
That's
so
how
if you're like I have a dream, like I have a list of dream cars because at one point in my life it was like an 80s car, and then it was a 90s car, and then it's a 2000s car, and now there's like
something foreign
exotics that you would get. And yeah, so like there's, I don't know, I really couldn't tell you. We'd have to go through a whole list. We could have a whole segment on that for me. But
gun to your head right now, 5 seconds.
Gun to your head, gun to your balls.
Yeah. Yeah. I just need a name here, Ty. I understand you're a car guy. I'm sure there's a lot. You just top of your head right now.
I'd have to go with the 1986 AE86.
Ooh, wow, not the pick I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean that thing is.
That's just it, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
over the GTR, huh? Over the GTR, huh?
Yeah, I think so. One, way less maintenance.
Sure,
yeah.
And just overall cost. I mean, GTR nowadays, even a mildly, I say molested, but that's just because what we use in the car world. GTR, you're paying 70, 80 grand, which is more than what most like high end cars cost today.
Yeah,
right. So, whereas like a Toyota Corolla from 1986, if you find a good one, you're paying maybe 9.
Mm-hmm.
So
fair enough.
Blake?
Good question, man. I don't know. As far as on the road now, I actually really like those newly revamped Supras. So I actually saw one the other day. It was like in a yellow color.
Yeah.
Those are sharp. Yeah, man. Those are. I would say that's definitely on my short list of like, oh, that's a car like I would like to own.
For sure, man.
Those really aren't that bad either. You can get one of those fully loaded for like 55.
Yeah, man. Those are sharp, man.
Yeah. That's actually the orange one that was in F9.
Oh yeah. I knew I saw one somewhere else too.
Say,
one is an F9. That's when John Cena's driving.
Yeah.
Or is he driving? Or is
it's technically Han, but he does drive it.
Car, yeah.
Spoiler.
Whoa.
Someone drives a car in F9.
It's Han Solo.
It truly is. Do you know that a little bit?
I remember that bit.
That his last name is Soul.
Is it? Oh yeah.
The
That's funny.
And then it's O.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If I needed a car, this is gonna piss off Ty, but I mentioned it before. Obviously, a Tesla. You know.
Yeah, I remember you saying this. It's
Teslas. I mean, I do think electric cars are certainly going to be the wave of the future, though. I mean, like
they definitely.
I think it's going to be hard to find a gas car in the next
I can't wait for self-driving, man.
You're not going to find it.
I can't wait to just turn on cruise control and just call it a day.
It's all going to be electric, man.
Get to where I'm going, no issues. Safer too, in my opinion. Computers way faster at reacting to things than humans.
I saw.
What do you do though when it has to make the moral choice and it kills you?
Protect me. That's the moral choice it has to.
It's
that question at the store.
Yeah, it's going into that 5 little kid ducklings have just run in front of the car, and it's either the 5 ducklings or you into the wall.
Crashes you into the window.
I put it in protect owner at all time mode, and I will just
ram right through.
I don't care what old ladies crossing the street. Sick. All right, car, we're just gonna be cruising.
See, your car is now a killing machine, where ours that we drive with our feet. This is what the internet does to kids. You know, it just gives them anonymity, and then they just go on murder sprees.
Sure.
Disgusting.
Yeah, if I don't
thanks Elon
see myself getting a truck, I would either get one of two things. I would get a Cybertruck, of course.
No, see the Cybertruck I like because it looks stupid.
Yeah.
Is Elon Musk his real name?
It's an elongated muskrat.
Serious.
I think all three of us went, is he being serious?
But I don't even know if that's his real, like, that sounds like a stage name to me.
Probably
like
is.
His billionaire name?
Yeah.
Maybe. Trump was originally what? Drumpf?
A couple generations ago.
Yeah, a couple generations ago. His great-grandfather.
We're way off here, folks.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the other car, if I had to get a truck, would be a Warthog. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about Halo.
Oh, segue.
Yeah, segue. We are talking about Halo's live-action TV series losing its like millionth showrunner. It's been through many trials and tribulations. Basically, it's about to finish wrapping. They were filming in Budapest right now. It's been 7 years in the making. I think they announced it in 2013 or 2014.
Yeah, sure.
With originally Steven Spielberg set to, I believe, direct it. he was on to at least produce. Wow. I could be wrong about him directing, but he was on to at least produce. I think he's since left the project, but it's been through production turmoil, and then they finally found a showrunner for it. He apparently quietly left as showrunner at the end of 2019, and then right a few months before he did, he was like, I want to take care of things stateside because they were filming in Budapest.
Okay.
I want to take care of things like writing and editing and anything production-wise as much as I can stateside, and they hired a second showrunner to go to Budapest and be on set.
Okay.
Then a few months later, the original guy left the project, so then it was just the guy that they got to be running in Budapest.
Okay.
I forgot the names. I can pull up the names here. So the one that was the original showrunner, his name was Kyle Killen, and he did Lone Star and Awake. Those are the two credits he has according to the Hollywood Reporter story. And then he brought in, Stephen Kane, who is now the second one leaving. That's like the headline of the story.
Oh, this is Budapest Man is
Budapest Man is now also leaving once the show wraps.
But it's in the can. So season one
is going to be done. Okay. There's nothing confirmed on it yet as far as release date goes. There were some apparently leaked stills that I saw on Twitter. I don't know if they were real or fake, considering the production hadn't wrapped. Maybe they had some CG done already.
Sure.
Maybe that was that stateside production the first guy was handling. So there were some stills released from what I saw on Twitter. It looks about what I expected. Some kind of decent looking set design and stuff.
Who's getting this? Is this going to
So right
Netflix,
now, I believe
streaming,
it's on
Paramount Plus?
I think it's It was at one time with Showtime.
Okay.
I think it's now CBS Studios.
So that would mean probably CBS All Access,
so it's
right?
it's being made with Microsoft and 343, obviously the creators of the Halo games, Amblin Television, and CBS Studios all produced it.
Which is CBS with Paramount Plus now, or is that its own network still? I can't remember.
I think that's the one that got absorbed into Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Yeah. CBS.
So it is going to Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I'm
going to call it. Who knows?
Yeah.
This is a Back Row exclusive.
Back Row predictions.
Yeah.
Ty, you're the other big Halo guy here, and obviously I also want to bring this up because it's something that excites me. Halo's like my favorite game of all time, favorite franchise.
Bring it up.
But we also
have
just started our Halo stream,
stream,
it'll be something big for us going forward. Blake, I don't know if you've ever played Halos or been interested in Halos, but Ty, where are you?
I've only played up to the third one, and that's what,
sure.
like 360.
Yeah, that was like 2007.
Really like the Beyonce song.
Yeah, so
top 5 Beyonce song.
Good Beyonce song.
Beyonce entry list.
There we go.
But yeah, Ty, overall excitement here. Are you apprehensive about all this? Do you think this show's gonna be good after everything it's gone through?
I mean, they've done plenty of Halo stuff before. There was like a live action little thing, and then there was also an animated thing that it was kind of like Love, Death, Robots, where a couple people had their hands in the cookie jar for animation styles and everything like that.
Yeah, because it's not just the games. It's the games. They have a lot, several books, almost 20 or so books. I would say maybe more, and a few different movies, shorter, not shorter, but they're all animated. And then they have a live action web series that's actually decent. Like, it's not terrible. It's I think a total is like 2 hours, and it's a prequel for Halo 4. And then they've also done a prequel series for Halo 5 in a form of a podcast that was supposed to be like a true crime podcast of a journalist exposing the truth of Oni and the fact that Master Chief has been rogue and they haven't been saying anything about it. It was set in the Halo universe. It was with Keegan-Michael Key. It was actually really, really good. The disappointing part about it was that Halo 5 turned out to be have nothing to do with the actual story of the podcast.
Got it.
And they did 2 full seasons of the podcast. So this is not the first thing besides the video games that Halo has done, but it's their first time doing a full budget TV show or movie kind of thing with production and everything like that. The only other thing close to it being the web series, which was still decent production, but obviously it's a web series that has a little bit smaller budget and a little bit smaller scale.
I mean, my question
they definitely
is...
did a lot, though, with what they had for budget.
Yes, they definitely did.
My question is, does anyone care? Because, I mean, like, I just don't feel like Halo is in the zeitgeist the way it was 7 years ago when this was maybe first announced or something. Or Halo 3 is what I remember being, like, the big one that everyone played. Like, I know they're coming out with a new game, but, like, I just don't feel like, again, the next generation of gamers now and the inbuilt fans of this, are they, you know, how big is that audience? And you know, how many of them are signing up for Paramount Plus to watch?
From what I can gauge, you go ahead.
To like, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying, compared to like what like a movie gets, or just stuff like that, it's not. The following is just not there. Like, even after the announcement of the game, they didn't even come close to announcing any kind of idea of like a battle royale. In which case, if you're talking about new generation gamers that are coming up, they're only playing battle royales, and so it's hard to see whether or not they're going to cater specifically just to this very small niche group of people that are still into Halo, or if they're actually like trying to capture some more people. So I'll be interested to see like what the actual demographic is.
From what I can gauge with Halo, because I've been playing it since that was one of the first games I've ever really played, and I've caught up with it and have been pretty involved with like Halo on Twitch and stuff like that. And so I know I would consider myself one of the Halo community, if you want to use that term. But from what I can gauge, diehard Halo fans are going to watch this and do their best to watch that, and that crowd is actually bigger than you'd think, because it goes back to Halo 1, and Halo 1 has caused a lot of lifetime allegiances to Halo when you look at the hardcore fan base. So that audience is there, but I don't think that, you're right, Nathaniel, I don't think that audience is necessarily big enough to necessarily warrant something like this. And so I would assume they are definitely hoping to bring in more people for this that have played any of the games or know anything about Halo. And I think that audience is still pretty big, and I think it rides a lot on the success of the new game that they have coming out, Halo Infinite. If that's good, if it gets a lot of new players, because it is free to play, the multiplayer is. So if they get a lot of interest there, I would be shocked at this point if they don't do some kind of battle royale or announce some kind of battle royale to get more people in there, because then a lot of people will come back for that. Sure. I do think these two things could coincide to make this really successful, but I think the success of Halo Infinite is going to mirror the success of this TV show. If Halo Infinite's good, I think the TV show will draw a bigger audience. If Halo Infinite is not what we want it to be, and doesn't catch on and it doesn't get as popular as they're really banking on it to be, it's not only that's gonna show that the show's not gonna get the audience that they want for it, but it's also gonna be a bad thing for the Halo franchise in general, because a lot of people consider this 343's last shot at making the new developer getting at really reviving Halo to what it could be, what it used to be. This is like their last chance to like do that, and they're obviously going to make more Halo games. But like this is like a kind of a crux here in the Halo franchise, because it's a kind of make or break on whether they can make this a big franchise like it used to be.
Got it. Yeah, because I mean this was at the start of it. Yeah, Xbox's big franchise. This was what made them into what they are, you know.
This is without Halo, they probably wouldn't have caught on as well as they did. Right. With Halo Combat Evolved.
But anyway, enough video game talk. Yeah. Gosh, let's talk about some films.
Like Dune, which is actually getting delayed.
Casually though.
Very light delay here. So originally slated for October 1st, it's now going to be coming out on October 22nd. They don't really give much of a reason for this delay.
I think Denny V just said, I want 2 2s in my number, in my release date.
2-2-10-2-1.
See, this just makes me think Denny V is just playing chess while we're all playing checkers, you know.
He's playing 3D chess, man.
4D chess, even. Shit. The man plays time.
This is also going to be day and date with HBO Max.
Oh.
So if you don't want to go out to the theater, which you should go out to the theater to watch a movie like this.
I agree.
Yeah. You can watch it on your TV, but this is going to be one of those ones.
I'm picturing Blake like midnight showing, center cut, Dolby Atmos theater, like just like a big, like almost like a Snuggie as well, and like a big box of popcorn.
I think he's got his big large popcorn. He's got a #1 Denny V fan little pennant flag.
No, the Snuggie says I heart Denny V.
Oh man,
I'm telling you guys.
The Snuggie has like the hexapods from or whatever they were called from Arrival.
From Arrival,
it's just got them on there.
And then I know we kind of talked about it before on the pod. Have any of you guys seen the original Dune? I think Nathaniel said he's seen it.
I have not. No.
Have you read the book, Nathaniel?
No.
I've heard it's very.
Have you seen the original time?
Yeah, but it was a very long time ago, and I would have to absolutely do some kind of. I will do a rewatch before we watch it, but
and that's kind of what I'm trying to decide to myself. Obviously, I got a few months, but if I'm gonna watch the original and then see his adaptation, or if I'm just gonna go straight.
From what I understand, the novel is so big; it's like 1,000 pages or something like that. The original movie, like theoretically, like you could almost make an entirely another movie and not even reference what they covered in like the first one, too.
It's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
I have no idea what it is.
I could be very wrong, but I'm pretty sure Dune does have some kind of element to that. I do remember hearing that at one point. But again, I haven't read it. I could be wrong. I could be thinking.
Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should read Dune.
I think you should, man. It'd be worth. I've heard great things. It's a lot. I know a lot of people.
It is one of those like
big, this is my favorite book, or it's one of those books that they like reread once a year or something like that. I know quite a few people that are like that.
It just seems so French.
Do you guys think it has?
You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you guys think it has potential to be in that top echelon of Denis's catalog?
I think so. I think it could. It definitely could. I think it's different enough. I think with 2049, I was very impressed with what he did, and I think this is original enough for where he could like play with it a little bit. Where I feel like since there was already a Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, he had to kind of play into that somewhat with the sequel here.
Sure.
But I think maybe he just, like you said, it only covered that first movie only covered certain amounts of the book. Maybe he has just cherry picked his favorite parts. He can be a little bit more creative with it. Maybe he's changed some things.
I don't know. I trust him to do a decent adaptation and come up with a singular vision.
Yeah, I definitely trust him as well.
And the cast is
top notch.
Yeah, the cast is stellar. Dude. CGI and everything from what we've seen in the trailers looks great.
I just don't know outside of film heads and like old sci-fi nerds who's going to be going to see this. Yeah. No, I'm just scared it's going to be another one of Denny V making an incredible movie and then it just falling on its face.
Yeah, I think I kind of fought back on you before, but when we've talked about this, but I think I'm more with you now. Like I really don't know, and with it coming to HBO Max, how many people go to see it in theaters?
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
But at least it'll kind of be more widely viewed.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true as well.
To Nathaniel's original point, when we always talk about Blade Runner 2049, I mean, that shit on paper, right, be a massive like blockbuster for him, and it's not that. It's not like a Nolan film. Right?
Yeah. So. But I do think it coming to HBO Max, like while not a lot of people will get it in theaters, if people already have HBO Max and this catches fire a little bit, it could expand how many people actually check it out on HBO Max. Because maybe it becomes one of those things like a Queen's Gambit kind of thing where it snaps and goes viral on social media and then everyone's talking about it. And then if people have HBO Max, it's just like, oh, I'll check it out. 2.5 hour movie. Timothy Chalamet or you got all these actors that I know or at least I've heard of.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I would check
that out. I'm on IMDb looking at the cast.
Yeah, it could be something like that.
It's loaded, dude.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but we'll have to see about 3 weeks later than we were before. We'll definitely be reviewing this one.
I think this would be a shoo-in.
Yes, it would. Also a shoo-in for a review on the pod. Marvel's Shang-Chi got a new trailer.
Sure did. Trailer talk, folks.
Trailer talk. Trailer number 2 from Shang-Chi. Three trailers in trailer talk today, but new trailer for Marvel. Trailer number 2. We got the last one back in April, I think it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was back
in
April.
Time has no meaning here.
True. Shorter trailer, under 2 minutes, but definitely saw a lot of things we didn't see in the first one from what I could tell.
Yeah, it's definitely expanded it a bit more. You get a bit more views of the 10 rings.
10 bands, the silly bands, as I refer to.
10 bangles.
Yeah, they look cool. I like what they're doing with them. Yeah.
I think they just had to probably try to differentiate them maybe from the Infinity Stones if they had them on their fingers again. And
you think it's all like the gauntlet type thing? Or
now they're just the bracelets. Or maybe they seem to be able to shapeshift. Maybe they do shrink down to ring size.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was something too. Or like when you split them up, they become like a ring-sized deal or something like that. Yeah.
High excitement levels for this. We talked about it before. None of us really know Shang-Chi that well, but I think that makes it more exciting for me.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel I'm really interested with Marvel going forward, seeing how I kind of feel overall, because I feel like and I've been having this with like a couple different things recently, Fast and Furious being one of them. There's like I've been hitting like kind of emotional points with them where I'm like, okay, that arc is ended. I don't need to be as invested as I used to be anymore, like in these movies going forward. And I felt kind of like that with like Star Wars Last Jedi too, where it was just kind of like, okay, for me this is like a good point where this movie kind of ends in some ways, and that enabled me to like not care as much how Rise of Skywalker went. Mm-hmm. And I also kind of felt that way with Fast and Furious 7, which I think I'll talk about a little bit later too. But I will be interested now going forward with like these Marvel movies that are coming after. I've kind of had those moments, what my level of fandom response is going to be. Mm-hmm. And so I can say that coming from that kind of point of view, this second trailer did get me more interested in it than the first one did.
Okay. Do you think you're kind of draw away from these franchises? What do you think is causing that?
I think it's just a little bit of like they just kind of hit those end marks, those end arcs, in some ways, with kind of Endgame, spoilers for Endgame, I guess, with the death of Tony and kind of the ending of Captain America's storyline, or at least of Chris Evans' storyline and everything. All of those kind of coming to that end was just kind of like the only thing I can remember kind of comparing it to is like the Harry Potter franchise when that ended, and then like subsequently we've had Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and other kind of stuff, and I've never just kind of gotten into it as much. So I think it's just I literally grew up with these franchises.
Oh, me too.
And now they're to a place that like emotionally I can kind of get to that end with it, and now it's like what goes on beyond that I kind of don't have to engage with as much.
So for you, the story has already ended in some ways on that first chapter of Marvel and stuff, and you're just not sure if the second chapter will entice you as much.
Yeah, and I think I've just grown up. I don't look to Tony Stark or Dom Toretto or Brian O'Connor or Harry Potter to base my worldview off of anymore, to say, okay, this is what it is to be good or anything at this point. So now that I've grown up and can do that for myself, seeing them end doesn't, when that story inevitably comes around in the next arc, that's, the next generation of kids needs to see their heroes on screen. It's just, that doesn't need to be mine anymore. So I feel like that's
you don't care about family.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all, guys. Don't get me wrong here. La Familia will go on, but
okay.
But yeah, no, it's just kind of, I feel like I'll be interested in what I feel like about Shang-Chi and all these kind of things moving forward.
Fair. Ty, Blake, any reactions to this?
And my rant.
And or his rant, yeah.
Go ahead, Blake.
I don't have too much to say on it. I mean, I'm a big Marvel guy, but I've slowly kind of fallen off.
Sure. So you haven't, Blake, really
face of that stuff.
Blake, you haven't seen any of the Marvel Disney Plus TV shows. Do you think you'll still go see the movies that come up?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm sure I'll watch Black Widow. Right, I think that's early July.
Yeah.
Just because I'm familiar with that character, right? Just from that whole Phase 1, like what is that, Phase 1 and 2, I guess. From the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The rest of the movies, like I said, I'll probably check out, but I'm just not as emotionally invested in that stuff anymore. But I'll certainly go and check them out.
Sure. Ty, as the comic guy here, does this trailer do anything for you or anything for your excitement?
Yeah, I mean, I have pretty high expectations for this anyways, and I'm fairly excited for it anyways, just based off of what we've already seen and what we've kind of already heard. Sometimes I almost don't like more than one trailer. I get it. You got to put more hype behind stuff, especially nowadays, because not everything's in theaters, but yeah, I don't know. Every time you play too much of a different preview, you just get a different little piece of the movie, and sometimes you do give yourself away. And I'm just hoping that they don't give too much away.
Yeah, that's you bring up an interesting point, Tyler, of how much do you put in the trailer nowadays? And Marvel in the past, has been very good about putting out fake bits in trailers and deleting different characters or adding different one-ins on different scenes and stuff. But and I think it's just also we're like to a point in the world where like the movie going audience like us, who even ourselves, as we say, we consider ourselves, casual moviegoers, we've been trained to watch trailers for clues to the movie now. Like hype has become so ingrained into our stuff, and we forget that we watch every trailer just because it's just part of our existence. But the majority of trailers are still made for the masses amount of people who only see one trailer.
Yeah.
And whatever version of that they get is it.
Sure.
But I also know what you mean, Tyler. I'm constantly having to be like, or you even brought it up with one of the other trailers today. You're like, I've seen too much of this movie now.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
But they are definitely guilty of sometimes putting too much of a movie out there.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. And it ruins a lot of things, man. In like The Conjuring, like we talked about those scares where it would have been better to see that in while watching the movie for the first time. And I would say even with the movie we're watching today, it's not much of a spoiler to say Han was back because he's in the trailer. But could you imagine if like we were watching that movie and like he just showed back up on screen?
I have stopped watching as many trailers as I used to for sure. And like a lot of times I'll just try and watch one and then go from there. Blake, I feel like you were saying something earlier, and I think I stepped on what you were going to say. Did you have a thought about trailers too, I guess?
I don't believe so. I might have lost my train of thought, but no, I don't believe so, man. You're good.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, what's the next trailer?
We can move on from Shang-Chi. I mean, that's one we'll probably review.
Yeah, I would think so for sure.
And I would say personally, I'm pretty excited for, and I'm excited to go back and see Marvel movies in theaters, and starting with Black Widow and then Shang-Chi. Like, I'm ready for this next Infinity Saga, whatever it ends up being.
Sure.
I've already this Loki series. I haven't watched episode 3 yet, but even the first 2 episodes have already built me up back, and because I can see that they're trying to start rebuilding everything.
Sure.
And setting the next story arc going forward. And they have so much to play with the comics. Like, there are thousands of comics and hundreds of storylines. And so, like, the Infinity Saga was great with everything and Thanos and all that, but they just still have so much more they could do.
Definitely.
And so I'm still pretty excited. Like, this is I've said it before on the podcast, but, like, Iron Man and Incredible Hulk came out in 2008.
Yep.
And I was 8. Like, this was my childhood thing that I watched from 8 years old and till today. I would go and see every single Marvel movie in theaters for the most part, and that's a big thing for me. So I think my hype is going to keep going. It's maybe not as much as it used to be, because when I was like my teenage years, when I was super into stuff and looking up like all the trailer analyses, and all that stuff, I don't think I'll get back to that. But I still think they are such entertaining movies, and at this point, I'm so invested that I will be in for a long time to come. They'd have to do a lot for me, or they'd have to get pretty stale for me to kind of fall off or fall.
Yeah, and I think I'm definitely in that boat for the most part too. But it was just like I said, it'll be interesting how they move on from what was inarguably the biggest ending point they've had so far. You know, even if with Spider-Man we've had some post-Endgame movies so far, like this being the introduction of a new character and everything, will be pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, we can move on to our next trailer here, which is going to be Halloween Kills. They had a teaser, a trailer, and so second trailer, I think.
Yeah, I think this is the second trailer. I can't remember at this point.
I think so as well. I think they had the teaser where you see her in the truck.
Yeah, the teaser was a while ago.
Yeah, the teaser was like when it was supposed to come out, I think it was. Or maybe it was even a year before that. I don't remember what it was. Third-ish trailer. 2.5 trailer. This is the one where we were watching it right before we started recording, and I said, I've seen too much. They showed a lot of kills in this.
It makes it seem like this movie's just going to be
a murder fest.
I think it's just going to be a fucking blood.
I think maybe it's just Michael Myers is officially unleashed and he's not scared.
Kind of seems that way.
That's kind of what it seems like.
Hey, man,
so
looks like the whole town is
hunting him down too.
So interesting concept. This is kind of cool. I'm kind of in on that front.
That's fresh.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
The first time so I've seen this trailer twice now. The first time I watched it, I was kind of like, I don't really like this. You know, the first one I thought was just such a perfect encapsulation of the first one, and then updating it for a modern audience. I feel like I have a special soft spot for that movie because I think it's
We're talking about 2018, right?
Yeah. I think it's it's firing on all cylinders for me. And then in going into this, I think it was just like it seems so much more like almost sequely is the only way I can like describe it. Is that, and then I like upon my second watch, I kind of felt, well, maybe this is going to be kind of like them playing with the throwback of like the original Halloween, where like of that era. The sequel is always more kills, more gore, crazy, or more. And it'll be kind of like their take on that. And I don't know. I trust the writers and director, and I'm excited for this. I think it still looks crazy. I have no idea where this is going to go. Even though you're saying you feel like you've seen so much of the trailer, I just feel like
maybe I haven't.
I just feel like it's possible they just have much more in store with this.
It could be. I felt like we got introduced to a main character that we saw throughout the trailer, but then we also saw her getting threatened by Mike Myers, which seemed like a climactic point. But maybe it's not. Like obviously we haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah.
So maybe they want us to think we've seen it all, and we just we've only seen half the movie or whatever. So who knows? But overall, I do like this concept from what it seems like they're going with. And I like that they're doing something new with the character, new with the series, because that's something we talked about with The Conjuring, how they kept constantly changing some aspects of it from 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
And it wasn't just the same family getting haunted. Ed and Lorraine are here to save the day. Oh, let's do an exorcism, whatever that formula ends up being. But yeah, I think It
seems to take up place like immediately after the first one, which we kind of saw recently with The Quiet Place Part 2.
Will this be the first Halloween that doesn't take place on Halloween? Because then it would be, I guess, if it's after midnight, November 1st.
Well, who knows? It could be. It could still be Halloween. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely interested.
Like on that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sold, guys. I mean, obviously though I'm really big into this type of stuff. I mean, I think as somebody pointed out, I think when we first talked about the teaser a while ago, it's just very genius, right? That it takes place that same night, because why would a fire department not show up, right?
Right. Yeah.
In modern times, somebody's definitely going to see that and be like, oh, I'll call 911. I don't know what's going on, right? A house is burning. And then I just like kind of the plan, the whole town kind of hunting them down, because now if anyone's seen a handful of Halloween movies, you're legitimately thinking like, okay, well, like, can they even kill this guy? I don't know, because I don't know if he can die. Mm-hmm. And then it's nice too that even with the town now being aware of who he is, you can even see in the trailer when he's kind of standing at the front porch with the house burning, and one of the firefighters sees him. You can see that they're able to like recognize who he is.
Right.
His face has like a really like, oh my God, that's actually him, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can definitely see like word around town has obviously gotten around, right? That some stuff kind of went down earlier that night. They go to the fire, and he's there.
Yeah, because it doesn't, like I said, doesn't seem like he's being all that sneaky with these kills at this point. It seems like it's just him on a rampage now.
He's fucking killing people.
Yeah, I think
the street.
Well, yeah, they say that they start kind of playing into the supernatural aspect of it,
which
that
they've
like
done before.
Transcending. Yeah. I'll be interested because the first one was so grounded. I'll be really interested to see how much they play to that angle.
Yeah. We will have to see come October 15th.
Cool.
So close. And our last trailer, also coming in October. No, never mind. August. Candyman, a horror movie to come out in August, but I'm not mad at that. This is their second trailer, as the title of the YouTube video has informed me. But I'm on board still.
Yeah?
Yeah, this looks interesting. This looks different.
I'm more
Ali,
on board
I
now.
forgot the actor's name. He was in Euphoria and Ma Rainey's and a couple. I don't know if he's been in one other thing. I forgot his name though.
The main character in this?
No, but the guy Ali from Euphoria, and he was one of the band members in Ma Rainey's. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes,
I don't know the actor's name.
I do know who you're
right
talking
now.
about. Yeah, sorry.
Love him though. Let's see.
Yeah, the main character is, I believe his name is Yaya.
Coleman Domingo.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yep.
He's the man who's speaking in this. He's telling the story of Candyman.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's the guy.
Cool. Glad we got that.
Yeah. Go ahead and give him a Google, listeners.
Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about.
This looks awesome to me. Like, I'm so intrigued by this. I love the first Candyman. I think it's pretty underrated as far as kind of 90s horror films go.
For sure.
It's got a pretty I feel like it's got a pretty big cult following. Like, I feel like you say the name Candyman and like most people, they'll be like, man, I'd never said that as a kid, or like I knew a guy that had Candyman happen to them or something like that. It's got such a big cultural tie to Chicago too. This just looks really interesting.
You brought that up. Yeah, that's definitely why I'm sold on this. As well as that's why the original one kind of holds a sweet spot, like you said, because it's a hometown movie.
Blake, what's your excitement level for this?
Pretty high. Well, one, Jordan Peele hasn't really done too much wrong.
Sure.
Right? In the horror genre.
Now he's only producing this, right? Or is he directing?
Right.
He is producing it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, it seems a little bit different than the original.
I think so too.
But I'm fine with that, right? I didn't want just a kind of like a revamped of it made in 2021. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But yeah, I think it looks good. I think it'll be another successful notch under his belt. Then as well as with the director, I think it's Nia DaCosta, which I'm not too familiar with any of her work. I'm looking on her IMDb, and there's nothing I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think this might be her first feature.
So. Yeah, right. So hopefully it kind of goes well and rocks out for her. But yeah, I think her having Jordan Peele under her belt is going to be a huge help. The cast seems to be good, and this is just a movie. I mean, there's only been one,
right?
And that's what 93 or something like that,
somewhere 92? In there. Yeah.
So it's not like it's been overdone, right? Anybody who's seen it is like, oh hell yeah, I'll go watch it again. So
yeah, I'm my only thing is I really hope they still have Tony Todd involved somehow, and I'm like resisting looking at the cast as well to see if he's in there or not. But
I would think he's involved somewhere.
Like, right, he's just so iconic as Candyman. His voice is so terrifying.
And that's what I think, his voice is going to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think so too. I really hope so.
I can't confirm he's on the IMDb.
Okay, cool.
I think the whole point is that he kind of didn't want to know.
Yeah, but you guys were like, yeah, it's basically there, so I figured I might as well let this
allegedly.
He could be. Maybe he's just, I don't know. Maybe he's in the background. Who knows?
Allegedly.
Yeah, but I'm on board for this. This is August 27. Another, most likely, I think it's actually already on our show schedule.
Probably is.
That we made last week for the rest of August. So, yes, very excited. Ty, do you have any thoughts on here? You haven't really chimed in much on this one, but
no, I think this is gonna be great. I have some very fond memories of the first one, or the original, we'll call it. It's not necessarily a sequel, so I'm excited for this. I like horror stuff, obviously. Like these guys have said, this hit close to home. This is Chicago, and Jordan hasn't missed, so I trust him, and I trust what he wants to do and his artistic vision for this, and I'm excited for it.
Sure.
Catch that on October 27th, and check out our review whenever that happens. And also, I didn't mention it, Shang-Chi comes out September 3rd.
Okay.
In case any listeners were wondering.
Is that going to be on Disney as well?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't think they've confirmed, but
I think they're doing it with Black Widow, where you can buy the digital access, premiere access, whatever they call it. And I don't think they're doing it on this one. They're probably going to go back to full theatrical releases.
Yeah, I would imagine in a post F9 world, we might see a lot more of theaters only.
Sure, yeah.
This has done pretty well.
It has so far already. Yeah, well, that's going to be it for Trailer Talk. We're going to go ahead and move on into Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of June 27th through July 3rd. First week of the month, the first few days at least of July, so that's, of course, your big list. To Netflix, starting them off with Killing Them Softly.
Brad Pitt?
Yep, Brad Pitt. And then we're also getting America, the Motion Picture. This is an animated feature film taking a rather distorted look back at American history with some of your favorite celebs voicing well-known historic figures. Sounded interesting.
Almost like a drunk history, maybe.
Yeah,
there
maybe.
was actually like a little trailer for this, and I do remember seeing this now that you say that.
Did you like what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like there was some pretty good voice acting in there, and it looks like they definitely do take it a different way. It's definitely going to have a little bit more of an adult feel to it.
Yeah,
as far as like Rick and Morty, South Park kind of humor, kind of and yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. This will be kind of new to history, as long as they stay close to like what the actual history is. It depends on like what kind of variants they put in there for like jokes and stuff like that. Yeah. But if you remember like Drunk History when that first came out, people fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, I might check it out. And it's a feature film, but if it's animated, I can only imagine this being like an hour and a half or so, maybe even less. So yeah, definitely it seems like something checking out. You can also check out Air Force One, Harrison Ford, 1997 flick. The Austin Powers trilogy, one that I need to revisit because I haven't seen it since I was like a kid, and I can't really remember them that well, so I should probably actually check these out. But also getting Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, Love Actually, a Christmas movie in July, but a rather good Christmas movie. So if you're feeling Christmassy with all this heat and rain, maybe go ahead and watch Love Actually.
Or Mortal Kombat.
Or Mortal Kombat 1995, also coming to Netflix. Not the 2021 version. That is going to be staying on HBO Max for the foreseeable future, I'm sure. We're also getting No Strings Attached, Star Trek 2009, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. One I also need to revisit because I haven't seen that in a long, long time. We're getting Terminator 2 Judgment Day from 91.
Yep. That's goated.
One I have not seen.
Have you seen the original?
That might be something we may even need to get on here.
We can definitely add it to the short list.
Yeah, that's a super.
Maybe we do 1 and 2 as like a little double ep or 2 and 1 ep or something like that. So the Karate Kid trilogy. Sorry, I scrolled on the other way. Zathura, A Space Adventure. This is like Jumanji in space.
Yes, it is.
If you haven't seen it, it's actually decent.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember watching
Jon
it as a
Favreau.
kid. Yeah, Jon Favreau. I don't remember the actors in it, but one of them you might recognize.
It's Josh, Hunger Games, PETA.
Yes, that's right.
And Kristen Stewart is the sister.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she is. I remember this now. It's all coming back. Yeah, decent watch if you're bored. If you maybe if you have some nostalgia for it, because you might have seen this already. And then we're also getting Bong Joon-ho's Snowpiercer. So if you haven't checked that out, that's the 2013 flick from Parasite and Best Director of 2018.
Yep, Bong Joon-ho.
That's with Chris, right?
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's.
Yeah, I remember someone brought it up on what we're watching, maybe, but I don't remember exactly. It's Amazon Prime. We're getting 30 Days of Night.
Great movie.
Ooh.
Yeah. 30 Minutes or Less.
Not as great movie.
Not as great. Alien 79.
Great movie.
Great movie. Yeah. Green Lantern.
Not a great movie.
Really going back and forth here. Yeah, that's the Ryan Reynolds 2011 Green Lantern movie. Hellboy 2004.
Great movie.
Great movie. iRobot 2004. Not so great. Movie. Rear Window.
Great movie.
1954.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Rear Window, you need to check
that out. That's one I watched for my film class.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I really liked that one. So definitely do check that out. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Finally, we have back-to-back good movies. How the States Got Their Shapes. I just remembered seeing this in like middle school or high school or something, in like a history class. Like one of those things like a sub puts on.
Oh, yeah. I remember those.
Yeah.
I'm just a bill.
But yeah.
That's even older school.
Yeah.
Did you guys have?
Oh yeah.
Schoolhouse Rock?
Yeah, I know Schoolhouse Rock.
I almost said School of Rock.
Timeless, man. I love that movie. Now that's a good movie. And then we're also getting The Tomorrow War, which I believe comes out Friday the 2nd. Which we may or may not be reviewing. Is that the one we decided we're reviewing?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. For next week, right?
That's correct.
I didn't check the show notes or the show schedule.
Bit of sizzle.
Yeah, I had to make the show notes while I was at work today, so not as prepared as I usually am, but still got most of it through there. To Hulu, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, the one with what's his face, Jeremy Renner, and who's his co-star in that?
Gemma Arterton,
who I would know from
Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
she's a really good actress. She gets shortchanged a lot into kind of weird roles. It was one of those ones that I think they thought that she was going to be more popular, and then
I think I remember seeing this one in like 2014 or 2015 after it came out, watching it with Papa Schwartz or something. We were like scrolling through Netflix, watching a movie, trying to find a movie to watch together. Pretty sure I've seen this. It's like an action movie kind of thing. It's fine. Watch it if you want. We're also getting Jack Reacher, another action movie. 127 Hours.
I haven't seen it, but that's the
I haven't either.
James Franco
stuck in a rock.
Oh, that's I knew that looked familiar.
Danny Boyle.
Everyone says that's really good.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
When that guy, when that dude lost his arm, that blew my mind for like a whole week. Like I was in like 3rd grade, and it was just one of those events that you're just like, that guy is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Changed my worldview.
Yeah. Also getting 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. 2 I have not seen.
You should.
Yeah, but I've heard good things.
Definitely.
Maybe I'll check
Another
those
Danny
out.
Boyle.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Bad Teacher, Bohemian Rhapsody of 2018. That didn't win Best Picture, did it?
No.
Yeah, it won Best Soundtrack or something.
Yeah, Parasite won.
Oh yeah, same year. Okay. You know what the controversy was? Rami Malek won Best Actor. I think that's what it was.
Yes.
Instead of someone else that should have probably gotten it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Bruno. That one's for Ty. I'm sure he loves Sacha Baron Cohen.
Have you seen Bruno?
Dude, the first Borat was fucking phenomenal. I don't have anything against Sasha.
Oh,
Plus,
okay.
he's also really good in Talladega Nights.
Yeah, I was going to say. Isn't he a Formula One driver in that?
Yeah, he is. He's from Formula One.
Yeah. They give the sitting the pole joke.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't have anything against him. I just did not care for Borat 2.
I gotcha. Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumber When Harry Met Lloyd. Fargo of 96. Galaxy Quest. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's also coming.
Galaxy Quest is fucking dope.
Galaxy Quest is good. So definitely check it out if you haven't. Another one I watched for my film class. Ice Age, which I haven't seen in a long time. Do you think those guys? Do you think those ones still hold up?
I used to love those movies.
They made like five or six.
I would say there's like 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't even know if I've seen the most recent
I definitely have not. I've seen at most 3.
Right, because the most recent one is definitely like 2012, 2013.
Might even be more recent than that, actually.
There might have been one this year.
Yeah, I don't. There honestly, there might have been.
What is the newest one? Is it like Continental Drift or?
I think so, actually.
I don't know. Whenever they want to roll out Ray Romano.
Interplanetary travel.
We have Ice Age 2002. Ice Age The Meltdown 2006. Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs 2009. Ice Age Continental Drift 2012. Ice Age Collision Course in 2016. And then slated for 2022, Ice Age Adventures of the Buck Wild.
Okay. I haven't seen Collision Course from 2016.
Who knew?
That's a lot longer in between those movies than I thought there was.
Is Ice Age like
last one's like 12?
Yeah, there is a lot more time between them than I thought. But is Ice Age like the underrated franchise that we just don't know is like a
slugger?
Ice Age is dope, man. Yeah, that and Madagascar.
Yeah, but there's only 3 of those still, right? I don't know. Madagascar.
I believe so. I know they gave the Penguins a spin-off show, though.
They did.
So that might be skewing my memory on that.
There's 4 of them.
There's a 4th one?
Yeah, there's now 4.
Okay.
I haven't seen the 4th. I think I've only seen 1 and 3.
I really only care for the first ones of both of those series.
Yeah.
No, Madagascar 2 has the Moto scene, which is still hands down the funniest scene I've ever seen.
For sure. Yeah. And which one? Which I think it might be the. Actually, no, it might be the second one as well. Where they have the penguins and they're flying that plane.
Yeah, that is the second one.
Yeah, it's like in complete pieces, but they're still managing to fly it. Yeah, I love it.
Not that bad of a series. Those are pretty funny, actually.
No, man.
I think the 3rd one's actually decent too. From what
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave.
You didn't see anything.
Also coming to Hulu, The Polar Express, yet another Christmas movie in July. We're getting RoboCop 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
And to prepare yourself for Space Jam: A New Legacy. Space Jam from 1996 coming to Hulu. We're also getting Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, and Star Trek First Contact. Super Troopers, Taken, and The Terminator, in case you need to watch that one before watching Terminator 2, which is coming to Amazon Prime. That's all your new to streaming for Hulu. To HBO Max, 8 Mile. When I need to get to. Yeah, what's up, Blake?
Say Taken and The Terminator worlds collide. Do you think Liam Nielsen could take his daughter back from the Terminator?
Maybe the original Terminator, like OG.
What is it, T-800?
Yeah, the 84 Terminator, but definitely not the T2 one.
He has to enlist Arnold Schwarzenegger's help.
He's got a very specific set of skills.
And so does Arnold Schwarzenegger. Good. They need to team up.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I'd be down.
They're probably
have
the
they
same
ever been
size.
in a movie together? Yeah, they are pretty. I'd say Arnold's bigger, probably. I don't know how much Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson's like 6'4".
That's okay. Fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, he's big.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
Also to HBO Max, Demolition Man, Judas and the Black Messiah. It's coming back. I think it left after the 45 days, and now it's coming back.
Cool.
Planet of the Apes, the original 68 version. Pleasantville. And Tobey Maguire is back to acting, guys. I don't know if you guys heard this news, but he's going to be starring in Damien Chazelle's new film Babylon, which has a very odd cast. But yeah, he's finally returning. I think for his first acting job in 7 years or something like that. Besides,
is that a remake of
maybe
Vin
Spider-Man.
Babylon?
Or was it called Babylon? Wasn't it like Babylon
so.
AD or something like that? I do remember that movie.
Also getting Rambo 2008, the director's cut. Reservoir Dogs, Scream 1, 2, and 3.
Classics.
Ones I also need to get to. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
03 one, huh?
Yep. Trick or Treat.
Podcast fave.
Ty fave as well. I think Ty was the highest on the year. And then that's it for HBO Max. Disney Plus, you're getting Loki episode 4. Star Wars The Bad Batch episode 10. And The Sandlot 1 and 2.
Ooh, I mean, you could throw 2 into the can forever, light it on fire, and never talk about it again.
You don't need to watch 2. But Sandlot, one of those classics, one of those near perfect movies.
Man, that one is prime.
Yeah. That's up there for me, definitely, in one of those movies where I've seen probably one of the most times.
Oh yeah, I can probably quote it near from from
I don't know if I
could
could quote it, but yeah, there's a lot of lines I could.
That's one of the big ones that I remember. Like, I remember it was like a formative year in my life because I just moved to Arizona, and my aunt and uncle were like, "You're gonna watch The Sandlot," and I was like, "What's The Sandlot?" And they're like, "You're gonna love it," and I did love it, listeners. I loved it a lot. It was awesome.
All right, well, that's it for your new to streaming. I would love to get into Loki spoiler talk, but I actually have had no time to watch episode 3 because I was trying to binge all the Fast and the Furious movies.
Smashing Fast and Furious
which
films.
I didn't even finish. So
shame.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. We'll get to that in the while we're watching and review. I'll talk about it, what happened. But that's gonna be it for the new to streaming list. So we can get to the what we're watching. BlakeHolder, why don't you go first?
I think Blake is AFK at the moment.
I didn't see. I was not watching the screen. He must have run to the little ladies' room. Ty, why don't you go ahead?
The big burnout bathroom.
The big burnout bathroom. Yeah, he skirted on over there. Don't tell me Ty's gone too.
I just leave. Oh, Blake's back.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Blake.
Just go ahead, Ty.
All right. So, what I've been watching? Come on.
What have you been watching?
I mean, up on that big old TV.
I've been keeping up on Bad Batch.
Okay.
So
it's Papa Schwartz.
It's kind of falling flat for me.
Is it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is just because I can't binge it, and it's very hard. Whereas like with the Clone Wars, I kind of just was able to binge a lot.
Yeah.
Up until like the last little bit. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have to go through once it's all the way done and like just re-binge them all.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe do you think you could stop and then wait till they're all done and then binge those last few episodes? Do you think that would be a better idea?
I don't think I would stop, but I would definitely finish and then do a rewatch and just sit through it, like, over 2 days or something
how you're
like that.
used to doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
about it? Sorry, what about it is not doing it for you?
I don't know. I think a lot of it is really just because I can't binge it.
Just because that's it.
Because I always want to look at Star Wars in the form of a film versus a series.
Okay.
And I mean, The Mandalorian was really good, but I think that's because they didn't bring in a lot of like the regular Star Wars, like Jedis and stuff like that, and then they really kind of pulled that in there. And so yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see, and we'll kind of go from there. But who knows?
Okay.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Naturally.
Yeah, I had to.
Now, what did we talked about last week?
Did you find it too fast or too furious?
No,
Good.
That was just right.
Would you agree with Nathaniel's assessment last week about how it sets up the rest of the franchise a little bit more?
Yeah, I think we've reiterated this quite a bit, and I definitely think that it's really kind of its turning point, and it's actually pretty crazy to know that it happened so soon in the series, if you really look back, but it really does kind of set it up for more of an action series versus a car series, and obviously they do a lot of different car stuff, but everything just obviously gets crazier and crazier and crazier as you go. So Loki.
Now, no spoilers here because I haven't seen it, but have you seen it as well, Nathaniel?
I have.
Okay. If you guys can talk a little bit at least what you guys thought of the episode.
Not my favorite episode.
Okay. Because I've heard like this is like a changing one where they reveal a lot, but
yeah, I mean, in that it's a bottle episode.
Okay.
So that's basically the two characters talking for most of it. So there's a lot of exposition.
Gotcha.
However, it's a shorter episode. I didn't think it was directed as well, and by that I mean like there's just a lot of really random like mid shots of two people walking in frame and not much else going on, and it like very much looks more like a set or like on a stage. And especially after the first two episodes, as we've kind of referred to, have been so movie level quality, basically.
Okay.
But there is a theory going around for this episode that I think if proves to be true, then puts this episode in a different context, which would make it much more interesting.
Okay. Ty, thoughts on episode 3?
I think it's really great so far. I like the way that they're kind of going. Obviously, it is definitely more of a setup episode, and they do kind of review a little bit more. But this episode in particular had probably a bit of a bigger budget than some of the other two, because at one point you actually feel like you're kind of in like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So they definitely did a lot of work in a couple of different scenes in particular.
Sure, I can see that.
You can definitely see it. But yeah, other than that, I think it's really great. I like the way that they're going. I'm very happy so far. And like I said, I wasn't overly sure about this when it first got announced. And then kind of as we got closer and closer and closer, and now that we're into it, this is slowly becoming one of my favorite out of the 3 that we saw so far. So I think Winter Soldier has a little bit more than this right now, but this is drawing incredibly close, and we're only halfway through.
All right.
So, The Chef Show.
What is this?
It's Jon Favreau from Chef.
He made a show based off the movie?
Yeah, it's basically just a TV show about the movie.
Okay.
Kind of. It's not about the movie, but it shows a lot of like the different meals that they cook.
It's nonfiction.
Okay.
It's like he's talking with like his chef friends that taught him to do the skills for the movie, or like how they made different dishes for the movie. And
so it's a cooking show kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which I know not a lot of people are into. It's something that I'm definitely into. I really like food, so.
But he also has
like get prepared.
Yeah, and he also has like a lot of famous friends on it too. Like Robert Rodriguez is like one of the guys they go and visit and like learn how he makes his pizza or something like that.
They actually go to Lucas Studios or the Lucas Farm, and they cook with Dave Filoni, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni obviously have a pretty good relationship. So, but yeah, it's really fun, and I just really enjoy Jon Favreau.
Cool.
And then Leah and I. So Leah, I think I told you guys a little bit ago, but Leah's like just all the way out
of Westworld.
On Westworld, yeah. So I'm gonna have to go back to that by myself, which I'm totally fine with. It's something that I can just kind of sit in the office and watch if I'm just kind of chilling at home by myself or something like that, and just catch an episode at a time. So I'm totally cool with that. Or if I decide to just binge the shit out of it, I can. But so I tried to get her into a new show. It's definitely working. It's Breaking Bad.
Okay.
We're already into season 2, so
we're kind
of
because that's 16
quite a bit here.
That's 16 episodes an hour a piece, right?
The first episode or the first season, I think it's only 6.
Okay.
Second season, I think is 13.
Okay. Because I remember that's AMC who, for The Walking Dead, did 16 episodes at an hour piece. That's why I thought.
The first season they did 6 as well.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. And the second season I think was 12 or 13, and then they went to 16.
So, but yeah, we're cruising through it. Cool. It's one of those things that like we don't really have to figure out what we're trying to watch for like dinner, or if we're not sitting at the dining room table or something like that. We just kind of something we're gonna sit and cuddle on the couch before we go to bed or something like that. So, we don't really have to kind of sit there and try to figure out what we're watching for 45 minutes to an hour. It's just kind of something that she's like, we do Breaking Bad. I'm like, we could do Breaking Bad. Because this is like, I think this is my 4th watch through. So I like the series. I think it's really good. So yeah, I'm glad that she's getting into that. Other than that, I really don't have anything else.
Awesome. Why don't you popcorn someone?
I'm just gonna popcorn Blake because we asked you to do it first, and then Adam didn't know that you were absentee.
Yeah, I had to go and get my charger from my laptop.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
3%.
That's essential.
So, yeah. So in terms of me this week, I actually used Letterboxd.
Oh,
applauding myself.
Yeah, let's get a little.
Once in a while, I'll pat myself on the back.
Wait, is there an applause button?
So,
Nathaniel? I don't know which one it is. Yeah, there we go.
Flawless.
Got around to that. Went slow on the wire this week. Only watched 2 episodes.
Okay.
End up watching the first 3 episodes of Dave. I think that's all them caught up, right? I think that's me caught up. I think the 4th one comes out this week.
Okay.
On season 2. That's okay. It's going a little bit different route opposed to season 1. I think season 1 kind of starts off better, excuse me. But it's still funny. Still got some good messages in there so far.
But you like season 1 better right now?
Yeah. But it's good to be back in that world. It's good to see him, Gata, a few of his other friends. So you'll see Taco in there as well from Odd Future.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I end up watching False Positive. So that's a movie on Hulu. That's an A24 movie. And that kind of revolves around
I saw something
couple,
with that.
Yeah, it pretty much revolves around a couple who are having pregnancy problems. They then go to a specific doctor to see kind of what he can do about this pregnancy and things of that nature. Nonetheless, he ends up putting together a different procedure, which is, I can't think of the word right now, but what is it? What's the word? Where basically you would inject semen into the woman.
In vitro?
I can't think of the scientific word.
I don't know.
Like a surrogate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we get what you're trying to say, though. Yeah.
In vitro fertilization.
So they end up kind of going through with that,
something like that.
And it's interesting. It's kind of got a few twists on there. It's not great, but by any means, for A24 standards. But it hour and a half. Kind of had some twists and turns, as most of those kind of thrillers go. I mean, the ending is usually, you know what I mean, like really abrupt.
Good.
But yeah, it was fine. That was my Sunday. Watched Fast 9 on Saturday. And And I believe that's all I watched.
Cool. Why don't you popcorn one of the two of us?
Just two of us.
Let's go, Adam.
Cool. Yeah, I'll take up the mantle here. I have been binging Fast and the Furious in preparation for F9, and spoiler alert, I will be upfront with you listeners. I was unable to finish all of them before the movie.
Bold.
Yeah. Shout out my manager Chris, who decided to schedule me 7 days in a row, so I had no time to watch them at the perfect time when I have these movies to watch as well as a big project due in my summer course. Just great timing on that front. So yeah, shout out over there, Chris. Anyway, I did what I could. I got through Fast and Furious, Furious 5, and like 3/4 of F6.
Okay.
So I got through as much as I could. Better than I actually expected myself to do, because as I was going into the weekend, it was like Wednesday or Thursday, and I was like, when am I going to watch these movies before I see it this weekend?
For sure.
And I even told Nathaniel, I was like, I don't know when I'm going to have time to watch these, because I have all this work to do, and plus I'm working at Best Buy, and so I was actually happy that I got through as many as I did. That being said, let's start with Fast and Furious. What a fucking mess.
You don't like 4, huh?
No. What a mess this movie is.
Which one is 4? Walk me through that.
That's they're getting drugs under the border in Mexico.
Driving through tunnels.
That's all you had to say.
Driving through the border tunnels. Braga is the main villain.
Braga.
Gotcha.
Introduces Giselle.
Did
you say you didn't know that was Gal Gadot until we talked about it?
No, I didn't know she was in Fast and Furious.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I didn't know she was in Fast and Furious. So she stood up, and I was like,
She's
"Oh,
only
cool."
In, 2 movies, right? She's only 4 and 5.
You know, she's in 6 too.
She's in 6. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Is she in 7? I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
No, which is probably about the time that Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She was probably
sure.
off.
For sure.
So, yeah, this movie's a mess. It's just all over the place for me. It just jumps around, weird ass lines, characters weirdly edited. There's like Vin Diesel's holding a guy out the window, and then he drops him, and Paul Walker has to run and catch him, and then Vin Diesel's just gone. Vin Diesel in that 0.5 seconds where Paul Walker ran to the window and grabbed the guy from falling, Vin Diesel just is gone, disappeared. And there's just several weird cuts and weird continuity things like that just, I'm just like, what is going on here? And
Batman disappears all the time with the blink of an eye, and you're questioning why Dominic Toretto can't.
Are you saying Dominic Toretto is Batman?
Virtually, yeah.
All I'm saying is they haven't been seen in the same room together.
Yeah, you're right. Drive fast cars.
I don't know. There's just a lot of things like that. The writing was all over the place. The movie just doesn't make a lot of sense in some areas and just assumes a little too much. Did not enjoy my time with it overall.
But it's about family.
Yeah.
I don't think you're understanding
I get the family part, I guess.
No, I agree with you. I think it's most people would say it's kind of one of the weaker entries into the franchises. I'm to the point with these movies where like my emotions don't apply anymore.
At the end of the day, I was just like, okay, this is just what this movie is.
I've just kind of unabashedly love almost all of these now. We'll talk. I'm definitely mixed still, but like this is one of the ones that I think is when I go back to it upon rewatches, I remember not being like, oh, okay, I don't hate this one as much as I think that I do for the most part. I still think there's some fun bits in it, but yeah, it's definitely one of the weaker entries for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, not my favorite. So moving on to Furious 5. Enjoyed my time more with this one. Not as much of a mess.
So this is when everyone kind of got back on board in terms of the narrative, the timeline of Fast and Furious franchise.
And I would agree. I like this one. This is more in line with how I feel like 5 through 9 are, even though I haven't seen 7 and 8. But like I can tell by watching 6 and now watching 9. This for me is where they finally flip that switch.
Yes,
they do a little bit in 4, but this for me is when it just flips the switch. Well, there's unabashedly they're an action movie. With an extra amount of cars.
With 4, you reintroduce Vin and Paul back into the timeline basically, but by 5 we have now has so many entries into the franchise, and because of just various reasons, there are enough characters that we've had to create that we can now make a team. And then once it becomes a team, that's when I feel like it just takes off into the realm of the action franchise. But yeah, Fast 5 is considered one of the high points for sure.
Yeah, it was solid for sure.
Hobbs is just awesome.
Yeah, I like him a lot. The Rock is great in this. And it was fun seeing him.
That's when they first introduced him, right?
Correct.
The Rock's in the 5th one.
No, he's in the 4th one. No, he is in the 5th one. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5th is when and he's just chewing scenery from like the word go. Like, right. I think the one that I love is the guy like comes up to him with a clipboard and he's like, "I've got good news and bad news." And he's like, "Well, I always like my dessert first." and then he says like, "Yeah, well, yeah, we found him or whatever." And he's like, "Okay, now give me the veggies." Yeah. He's just the word go is just absolutely through the roof.
Yeah, he really changes his persona up from a lot of other movies, I think, for this one. He really plays into the Hobbs character, for me at least, because everything I've seen him in, I've seen him in a lot of comedies. You see him in like a lot of just action movies like San Andreas or Rampage or something like that. In this one, he feels like he's actually playing like a character, and he's actually doing some more acting into it a little bit. At least for me, that's how I kind of felt about it.
Fair enough.
Sure. I just love the way he says "son bitch."
Ladies are just women. He calls everyone woman.
Yeah, he's great.
Listen, you son bitch.
America's sweetheart, future president, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. So that was Furious 5. F6, like I said, only saw 3/4 of it. Kind of fell asleep and didn't have a chance to go back to finish it. But what I saw of it, again, more of the same of 5. Just kind of letting loose with it. I think the villain's kind of enticing. It seems like a little different, and this is where they I also start to become more super villains. It seems like
so
have all the resources, or they're super cool or super powerful.
6 is when you kind of chart their growth as like first film they're criminals, they're street level. Second one they now are working with the FBI. Third one is kind of that weird in between. By 4, you're in fully with the FBI. 5, you are now part of the secret squad Hobbs runs, and then by 6, you're into super spy territory, and it just keeps going. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of where you go in the world.
6 is when he gives them. When he works for
Hobbs. They become the team. Yeah, they join the team. Yeah, they're no longer hunted by Hobbs. They now join Hobbs.
Exactly.
And they fight another Hobbs team. Yeah.
Sure.
Owen Shaw is fun. 6 is also another one of the ones I think gets kind of forgotten in some ways, just because it was so immediately followed by 7, which was this huge emotional,
because of Paul Walker.
Yeah, exactly. And just how 6 ends. Going into 7 was this huge cliffhanger, hat drop of a moment.
Listeners, you'll probably hear in post pod, or in the after credits, whatever. Did get explained to me what happens at the end of 6, so I do know what goes on. I will also say I am planning on going back and finishing these. It would be a crime not to. I definitely want to, and I'm invested at this point in La Familia. Can't get away.
So for you, is 3 just still out and away your favorite
3,
at this point?
I like all 3 of these more than any. I by far like all 3 of the first ones more than any of the 3.
That's so interesting.
That I've watched.
I wonder if it's almost just too hyped for you now at this point too.
I don't think I didn't get the progression everybody did.
Sure.
And I didn't get because from 1 to 5 when I feel like that full change happened was 8 years. Because I think 5 was 2009, or might even
somewhere in there. Yeah, 5 was later. I think.
It was like 2011.
5 was 11, so that's 10 years. I mean, because first one's 2001.
And I'm watching these in the course of less than 2 weeks.
Right.
So I just don't think I had that progression everyone did. So for me, it just kind of ramped up really quickly.
Right.
And so I just preferred the 3 first ones, and I also think it just got too far away. I really liked the driving aspect of it. I like that whole street racing thing, and for me, it's just gotten too far away from that. And now it's just straight up action movies.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if you finish 6 and go into 7. I want to know what your opinion is like after immediately post 7.
Could definitely change. Yeah. Could definitely change. But from what I've seen of 5 and 6, it's gotten too far away from the racing as much as I would like it to. Because I love the racing, the first 3. Like all that's so much fun, and I wish they would have continued with that, or maybe done something like Tokyo Drift for one of these ones where. they make it an anthology story, and we maybe don't know more of the characters. And maybe it's in London, maybe it's in France. Who knows? Something like that. I think that would be fun too. Maybe they do that after maybe they go back to their roots after they finish this F9 saga.
They definitely could. Yeah,
because they're gonna make more, I'm sure. But we'll wait and see there. So
yeah, I mean, this is probably up there with Universal's most profitable franchises at this point.
I would say it probably is, actually. I mean, what do they have that would be better than this? I mean
they have their classics. Yeah,
they have their classics, true. But I would say modern franchises this is probably their biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I stand on Fast and the Furious. But that's not the only driving thing I got to this week. Ladies and gentlemen, I've started Drive to Survive. I've only watched one episode because right after I had to start binging the Fast and Furious movies. But watched one episode, and I'm already hooked. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
It looks incredible. I don't know if I've seen something live action that looks this good, because I think the only other thing I can compare it to, or that I like watching more on my OLED, is anime, because the colors are just so pixel perfect that the colors really are great. But as far as like 4K UHD, this is one of the best things I've watched on my OLED so far. And it's not even really close. This I could put on Drive to Survive at Best Buy, and it would be a demo quality.
For sure, it's a beautifully shot series.
Detail and everything. Yeah. But I really like it. I'm definitely going to try to continue once I get everything else that I need to watch out of the way, all the Fast and Furious, and catch up on Loki and all that. I will continue with Drive to Survive, and I will keep you guys updated as I do. Nathaniel, finish us off here.
I will finish off what we watched this weekend. So one thing that that I've kind of been talking, or I've definitely been keeping caught up on, but haven't really been bringing up, is My Hero. And I know Tyler has recently binged it and caught up as well. But yeah, that's been really fun. Good series. Good kind of arc that they're in at the moment. They're doing some pretty interesting stuff with that. So that's been cool. Both Brandon and I started, I think I brought this up on the podcast before. We've also been watching the show Megalobox on Funimation, and that has gotten me more hooked in the last couple episodes. So I think I'm going to be paying more attention to that. I wasn't super in. I think it was actually just like the first two, but the last 3 or 4 I've been much more interested in. So that's been cool.
You said Brandon was way more in than you were.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been cool. I'm interested to see where it goes at this point. They've suckered me again at this point. What else did I get to? So I also watched a movie called American Animals. It came out in 2018, I want to say. It's a movie about the Transy book heist, which probably not a lot of people have heard of, but actually occurred in like 2004.
Okay.
And it was basically 4 college students decided to steal these ultra rare books from a library called a school called the University of Transylvania, which is in Kentucky. But it's this mix of dramatized events, the heist itself and what leading up to it, but it's also cut in with real life interviews of the guys that participated in the heist.
Okay, so is this like a documentary, or is this like
a little bit of both,
reenactment documentary kind of thing where they have reenactments of the events?
Yeah, so it's the reenactments, quote unquote, are shot and edited like a film.
Gotcha.
But they are also cut in with current or post heist
that's
interviews
really interesting
with people. Yeah,
and this is a movie.
Yeah, and it's on Amazon Prime, I want to say, but it's got Evan Peters is in it, and then also the kid that is in Dunkirk, the one that's on the boat with Mark Rylance and the other one.
French dude, or?
Not the French kid, the kid that goes along with the crew over and ends up Cillian Murphy ends up injuring.
Okay.
He's in it as well. And but yeah, it's really good. It's interesting. It kind of lost me a little bit in kind of the back half of it because I think they take just a little bit too long. But it's definitely worth a watch in my opinion. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And it's a really interesting story. American Animals. Yeah. Really interesting story. I actually listened to a podcast this week that was about the Transy book heist, and that's how I caught on about it and wanted to watch it afterwards. And yeah, that was interesting.
Cool.
I also watched a documentary called The Inventor, which is about, now I'm forgetting her name. the founder of Theranos. I think it's Elizabeth Holmes, I want to say. She was coming out with this idea of trying to do a bunch of different blood tests with like a nano or a small amount of your blood, and she had this crazy investments in her company was valued at like $9 billion. She was getting picked up by Walgreens, and none of it really worked. And so it's this like
I remember hearing about
this. So
this was in the past like decade, right?
Yeah, 2014, 2015.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this. This was huge.
Yeah. So it's kind of about her and how that all went down and everything.
Yeah.
I actually sort of fell asleep in the middle of it, but it was still interesting. I mean, that story basically writes itself, you know. So worth a watch, I would say.
What's that on?
HBO Max.
And what's it called again?
The Inventor.
The Inventor. Okay.
Other than that, I saw Fast 9, and we'll talk about that right now.
Right about now, listeners. Welcome to the main review segment here at Back Row Banter. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, can you explain what our main review segment and what it is and how it works? Yeah,
listeners. So if you're new or if you are just rejoining us, maybe you took some time off, maybe you just missed us and now you're back. The way the main review segment works is it goes like this. It's split into two segments. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. Pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the movie itself, kind of go through its IMDb page, give our first thoughts and comments. Then at the end of it, we'll decide altogether whether we would recommend or not recommend this movie. It's got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, it's going to be spoiler time. I'll play a little spoiler noise. We'll go deeper into our thoughts of the movie. Don't worry if you haven't seen it yet. Come back to us at the end of spoiler time. There'll be another little spoiler sound, and we'll have it in the show notes for when you can come back, because at the end of our spoiler section, we're going to see where this movie ranks on our Entropy list, which is our big old list of all the movies that we've watched so far in the pod, ranked. That being said, Adam, talk to me about F9, The Fast Saga.
This is F9, The Fast Saga.
Starring the movies.
Starring Vin Diesel, of course, Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Chris, what's his last name? Bridges. Natalie Emmanuel, who is Miss Sunday from Game of Thrones, of course, Charlize Theron, John Cena, the list goes on. Sun Kang, can't forget him, and Finn Cole is young Jacob. Oh, and who's young Han or young
Vinny Bennett.
Cool, I must have skipped over. But yeah, great cast. The family returns.
La Familia is
back. Directed by Justin Lin, the director of. He did all the rest of the Fast and Furious, or which?
No, he has done 3, 4, 5, 6, 9.
Okay, so did not do 7, 8, or 9. Or sorry, 7 or 8.
Correct.
All right. But he's back, baby, and so is Daniel Casey to write the screenplay, also with Justin Lin and Alfredo Batello.
Yeah, first new writing team since Chris Morgan. Chris Morgan has done all of them, I think, since 2, I want to say. So first time for a new team in a while.
Yeah, this is got a runtime of 2 hours and 25 minutes. For 2.5 or 1.5 of those, I really had to pee. Did get an icy at the theater. Did slurp half of it down before the movie even started. Went to the bathroom, refilled the icy, and then went back into the movie.
I didn't even notice you were gone.
Yeah,
I was too locked in.
Remember remember right before the movie started, I went to the bathroom. Yeah, so right before I went to the bathroom and refilled the icy, and then had more of it, finished it basically, and then had to pee for most of this movie.
I was like so happy to be back in a theater with a crowd for this. Like the crowd that we saw this movie with
pretty good.
Was awesome.
Yeah, they were
having the best time. They were hooting and hollering. They were like screaming when like it was time to scream. It was awesome. I had such a good time.
It was a good movie going experience in Dolby. We saw it in the Dolby Cinema Theater.
True.
So that made it even better because this was my first Fast and Furious in theaters with actual like incredible surround sound.
Yeah, I felt like I was in a car.
Yeah, it was great. I felt like
inside
I
the
knew
car.
car terms, a wide body, small body. Let's see, we got a V8
Zoom
engine, and GPS.
F-stop.
Yeah, what about that T harness? What kind of T harness you got? Yeah.
Is that a remote start?
You got a remote start on that one?
ISO.
You sure? Diesel. I think that's another car term.
30 millimeter lens.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, it was great to be back. Tyler and Blake, how did you guys go see it? Because me and Nathaniel saw it with Waz, in Dolby Atmos. Ty, you said you saw it yourself this morning?
I saw it like 4 hours ago with Justin.
Fresh.
Oh, with Justin, cool.
Yeah, it was. I told you because Justin and I had today off, and basically the deal is if Leah didn't want to go or couldn't go, 'cause she was doing like studying or homework or something like that, then Justin and I could go. And Leah decided that she had too much going on, and I was like, "That's cool. I can tell Justin." So it's just me and Justin, little bro date.
Bro date.
Yeah.
I went Saturday night. No, I went Friday night. Excuse me, Friday night. And yeah, it was cool. Nice to be in a theater, right? This is one of those movies where I want to be around other people. Where I mean, there's lines in the movie that are funny, right? People in the theater are laughing, things of that nature. That stuff kind of obviously builds into the atmosphere, and makes the movie a little bit more enjoyable.
For sure.
So thoughts?
Non-spoiler. Oh, wait. IMDb summary.
Oh, man.
Man, this is back-to-back weeks where we could have been bad.
Close one.
Could have been bad. All right, IMDb summary reads as follows. Cypher enlists the help of Jacob, Dom's younger brother, to take revenge on Dom and his team. Not really accurate.
No, bad summary.
Bad.
We joke that the IMDb summaries are always bad. This one's awful and incorrect.
Yeah, it's just inaccurate. IMDb, check yourself, man. You got to start doing some better fact checking here on
quality control at IMDb. Is really
exactly.
Just
it's just really slipping through the cracks.
Send me in, folks.
I'll
get them up.
Have us do it.
Yeah, I'll get them up and running.
We're obviously experts at this point.
It's true.
59 episodes later.
I not only have the entropy list, I have the entropy list of all the IMDb summaries.
Of course.
It's a secret list.
Yes. Yeah, so it's not Cypher. She's in this movie, but it's the main villain is Jacob's brother, but it's also he's funded by
Dom's brother.
Sorry.
Dom's brother.
Man.
Are you just going into full spoilers here too? Or are you just throwing caution to the wind?
No.
We are fucked.
No, we already said Cypher's in this movie.
Cypher is in this movie.
We already know Jacob is Dom's brother.
True.
What have I said that's spoilers?
Funding.
Nothing.
What did you say?
You started to say funding.
Funded by another person.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say his name's Otto or something, right?
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
who it really should have said here instead of Cypher.
True.
Because you see him right away. It's not like that's a secret that he's funded by someone else. You see him after the opening sequence.
I'll buy. I'll pay that.
The full character's name is he's just Otto. Thu Ersted Rasmussen.
Gesundheit. That's a tasteless joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Thor.
But yeah, so then they are trying to get a device that will hack into anything binary that uses ones and zeros, which, listeners, as I'm sure you can guess, is a lot of things across the world.
So it's just the MacGuffin. Makes things go bad.
Yeah. Big weapon that, of course, is going to end the world. You know, your usual plot device.
Correct.
And so they've got to stop Jacob from collecting the two halves and the key.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That's spot on.
Cool. Tyler, you said you had some thoughts here, man. I'm curious to hear them.
Yeah, we haven't really played up how much this franchise means to you. So, what are your feelings coming into this? You've come off 8. You know, we've saved the world multiple times. What are your thoughts at this point going into 9?
I mean, at the end of the day, off the rip, it's probably just not a recommend for me.
Wow.
Okay. Elaborate.
We can get into it, and you're right.
If you can give me your non-spoiler elaboration here.
this franchise does mean a lot to me, and obviously, like Adam stated before, there's a lot of things that this franchise gotten away from, but like we also keep reiterating to kind of set up a lot of stuff for this to be more of an action franchise than just like a car franchise. So yeah, I'm super mixed. I definitely understand what this movie is supposed to be, so I tried not to like go too hard at it. But also, this is like ridiculous. Like, probably through like 75 to 80% of the movie, I just kind of found myself just saying like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We can definitely get more into it once we get into spoilers. But there's a lot of things that I was just kind of like, well, I mean, that could have been done a different way, and I'm like, that's pretty stupid.
Fair.
But there's also some like wild ass things in here that I'm just like, I can't, but I love it.
Yeah.
So, Blake,
I'm with you for the most part, man. I mean, I was watching this, like I said, and there's some scenes that are funny, right? So you're kind of getting the theater laugh at some stuff. But I mean, this movie is like, you have to suspend so much disbelief watching this movie. Like it's like some shit is just like laughable, and I don't think it was meant to be funny. So yeah, it's. I have a hard time recommending it. I think it's the worst Fast movie I've seen. Granted, I have not seen 8 though, so I've seen all of them besides that. But yeah, it's. I don't even want to see a 10th one. I think it's just played out. As Nathaniel said, we've saved the world multiple times, right? It's kind of like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? I guess that's spoiler, so I was gonna say that.
Yeah, we can get into that. Yeah, no,
but yeah, my binary. I mean, I'm not necessarily recommending it. I'm not necessarily a fan of it. Some things were funny, some things were cool, but I mean, this movie is like, it's ridiculous. But I'm aware of that. I mean, you have to suspend your disbelief watching this.
Mm-hmm.
So I am aware of that, and I am able to do that. And like, some shit is still like, wow, they put that on screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really all I gotta say.
Sure. Nathaniel?
I am much more positive than both of you guys, I would say, for sure. And I think kind of like what I was alluding to earlier, for me, the emotional nadir and closure for me happens at the end of 7. After the end of 7, when they send off Paul Walker and everything, that kind of for me ends the core relationship of what this original franchise was, which was Dom and Brian and their relationship and everything that goes with that. So for me, I think I had enough closure with that I didn't really care after that, 8 or 9. I was just on board for whatever. So that again kind of felt like the signaling of like the end of that, of the last holds on realism or groundedness that we had in the Fast franchise. 8, I think, doesn't particularly work well for me. I think the loss of Paul Walker is just too much in that one. They really feel like they don't really know where they're going with it at that point, and it makes a choice with one of the characters that I really, really do not like. But with this, I felt like there is you have more space. I think it's a smart choice to go back to Dom's backstory and to set him up as your emotional kind of crux of the movie. He and Letty at this point are the most kind of consistent through line we have still from the start of the franchise. I like that Letty and Mia get to have their little moment as well, because they are still from the start of the franchise as well. So I think there's a lot of kind of different world building and smart intentions with this movie in particular ways. I think it's as always, it's very corny in some areas. Or corny's not the right word. It's clunky and it's earnest, and that can be read as either corny or just, you go along with it and you just kind of accept it. And it's always walking that line, and it's going to go in some directions for some people, and it's going to go in other directions for other folks. And I think that's both the genius and the curse of this franchise. Okay. And so I was able to just have a ball with this and just not really, not engage the higher cortex of my brain to think about more than just what was going on on the screen at any given moment. And yeah, I had fun with it. I feel like I was being, I think I have a pretty generous reading on it for sure at this point. But like anything with this franchise, I find it so much fun. And so yeah, it's definitely still a recommend for me. I will definitely say there are going to be, moments in it that you just kind of got to roll with. But I think for me, this franchise has evolved this point to just have so much weird goodwill in my mind that I'm on board for the next one as well too. So,
all right, yeah, I would say I'm definitely like in between Ty and Blake and Nathaniel. I'm not as negative about the movie as Ty and Blake seem to be, but I am also not nearly as positive as you are, Nathaniel. There are some things I really don't know how to feel about this movie, and I walked out feeling that way because you're right. There are parts that I absolutely loved and were kind of fan servicey in some ways, but then also parts where I'm just like, wow, this is a movie that I'm watching right now. Like, I don't know if I'm really into this. And I've tried, and I've already prepared myself by turning off my brain and just being like, this is a movie. But even after I did that, I still found myself like, really? Like, this is what they're doing?
Sure.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. Like, I don't know. There's only so much for me. This is also my first movie without Paul Walker.
Sure.
Because I haven't seen 8. And so that really also killed it for me. Because in the first... Actually... I'll get to this. Well, we already know Han comes back, but so before Han comes back, I felt it felt really flat to me, and then I realized why, and it was because it was just Vin Diesel,
and there's no Paul,
and those are my 3 favorite characters: is Dom, Brian, and Han, and 2 of them are gone, and so it was really flat for me for a while, and then then Han came back, and it actually picked up.
It is hard. It is. Sung Kang, I feel like, has been done dirty by Hollywood at this point. Like, this guy needs to be.
Dude, how is he not in every single movie?
He's so charismatic and just such a good time.
I love him. I don't know how I haven't seen him in every movie ever. Like, just getting every lead role. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I've only seen him in this.
I know he's great.
He's fantastic. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he does smaller things.
But I agree. It is hard to describe how much more fun this movie immediately becomes as soon as they bring. Yeah, they go to find Han.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, there are parts that I like about it. If I had to go the Pioneer recommendation, it's right on the line for me. I lean more towards no than yes. I would say. Sure. I would say honestly, my binary is probably no. But like if you've seen the Fast and the Furious movies, then yes. Sure. So it kind of just depends on that. But if you haven't, this is by no means the one that you're going to go see or want to go see. This is not the one that is going to get you invested in the franchise. Not as binary as I like it to be, but that's my recommendation.
I'm a yes. I'm firmly in the yes.
So we got one yes and 3 no's on the recommendations here.
Holding it down.
We'll have to elaborate here in spoilers. So if you have not seen F9, if you have not seen it,
F9.
Go ahead and check the episode description where I've put a timestamp you can jump to, where you will be taken to our ranking up upon the entropy list. Spoilers! Shit goes down. A lot of...
Could shit go more down is the question.
Who knows, man? We'll have to go to... Ty. We'll have to wait for F10.
You even just... Like that's when I was like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. Like,
but the thing is, I don't care.
I don't care either. I'll be honest, I don't care either.
Yo, Bow Wow looks like shit.
I know, and I love it.
I didn't even recognize him.
That was cool, though. I will say that much. That was cool.
I love it. Yeah. I love that Sean Boswell is just
awesome.
like some sort looks like he's just huffing gas.
Yeah,
in the middle.
Yeah, the whole crew from Tokyo Drift looks like they've just been doing meth for 20 years.
It's great. I love it.
Like they did all those guys so dirty, and that's like one of the better ones. And they didn't even like show them in any cars. They're launching a Pontiac Fiero.
Yeah, he's like a very
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I loved it.
From DK to wanting to strap a rocket engine to a fucking Pontiac Fiero. You're fucking DK, bro.
And that Pontiac blows up. And they're in the same fucking one when it goes to space.
Man,
so
you
they
know
just
how many
rebuilt
Pontiacs
the
they
same exact.
No, they said that they got another one.
Yeah, and they put a polymer
yeah.
coating on it or whatever
dude,
it was. It's
I was so
non-combustible,
cool.
Blake.
I was so cool on this movie, dude. I was like, what the fuck is going on? He takes a fucking Hellcat. Well, first, before that, Tyrese and Ludacris, they're driving up the bridge.
Yeah.
As it's collapsing behind.
That's not to mention. That's not
Wrangler.
to mention Vin Diesel riding his car across.
Okay, but that was in the commercial. We already had. We knew that for over a year.
Yes, I'm aware.
We could make our peace with this.
Right. And then Dom takes a fucking Hellcat and locks his wheel into like a fucking rope and flings himself across a waterway.
I love
and I was
it.
like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah, dude.
That's right after John Cena drives his car off a cliff and it's picked up by a plane. So
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that happened before too.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
what a great sequence to
Man,
start the film with.
it was so much fun. I couldn't believe it.
The peak of that opening
I
sequence.
love the minefield. He's like, how fast
Dude,
do you think
that-
it's going? It's like,
okay.
at least 80 miles. Is like none of those cars are going to go 80 miles on that terrain.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I thought the same thing.
Dude, the minefield was great. What are you talking about? I love the minefield.
All you have to do is like adjust the speed. Why just 80 miles? You just be like, yeah, we got to do at least 50. All right, cool.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but the minefield
That shit was
ends
nuts.
with the.
You can't have a high octane action movie at 50 miles per hour, Ty. You have to go at least 80.
Fast.
So then what about Tyrese where he gets lodged in between the rocks?
That's great.
You didn't
He
like
jumps
that?
out.
I love that.
The mine blows up, and I'm like, so at this point, I'm like, this is before like the super weird shit happens, and I'm like, I don't think he's dead because
There's no chance. I was like,
then
there's
sh-
no chance he's dead.
It plays long enough though.
It does
He
play
just
long enough. I'm
walks
like, wait, did we really just watch him die?
I thought he was going to walk out the back door of the thing.
Of the car?
He
Oh,
like
that
went
would've
back
been funny,
into
too.
like the top of it.
The hatch or
and then
something
he was
landed
gonna
on
walk
top
out the
of
door,
it.
but he
That
walked
would've been
around it.
hilarious.
No, okay. I don't know, man. Like, I love the idea that this franchise has just decided that Tyrese is this
Invincible.
this just immortal god. Then the whole purpose of the franchise is just to punish him as much as possible for the rest of it. Because I hate his character and like everything else. After 2, he's just so annoying, but in 9, he's amazing.
Him and Tej's dynamic in this one. I don't know if there's any more of it in 7 and 8, but their banter back and forth is actually great. It's just some good writing.
I feel
love it.
like I feel like this is the best Tyrese has been in forever.
I agree.
But I like that this I just like I said, I feel like just because I don't like emotionally feel like I have to like be with the characters and the logic makes sense anymore or anything, I think it's just a roller coaster for me. It's like you've said, it's become fully like just an anime at this point.
Yeah, dude.
If you want to draw that theory out that we've been working with, and I just love that. Yeah, no one's ever really dead. There's always another retcon. Like,
and they basically acknowledge it, saying, "Oh, I'm invincible."
Oh, this plays with this so much, and I love that.
I love
too.
that they do it.
They stretch it to they stretch that idea to like the limits of it seems without going like full Deadpool on something here.
Yeah.
Well, even at the end of the movie, they're like, "Oh, Brian's back." So like, obviously, he didn't die in the movies.
Well, yeah, he's always never been dead in the movies.
I think he just
immortal.
drives off at the end of 7, right? They
Yeah.
just split separate ways. But I mean,
Yeah, they don't kill Brian. Yeah, I haven't seen
don't know,
7, but
dude.
I knew they hadn't killed Brian.
Yeah.
Right?
it's just fucking nuts.
I
mean,
think that's one thing that bothers me the most is the ending.
yeah,
We did talk about that as me, Nathaniel, and Waz walked out of the theater. I was like, I'm very glad they did not try to CGI.
This
Paul
is about
Walker
as
back.
close as I want them to get.
Yeah, if they
Are
showed
they going to?
I hope not.
I really
I
hope
think there's
not.
a good chance they might, but I
What's
hope
the
not.
point of even bringing him up?
yeah, I don't want them to do that.
No, I agree. I mean, I think for the most part he can do it. I like though in this film that they bring back Mia because of the brother connection too though. Like that is such a relationship in this franchise that hasn't been examined very much. And I wish they did more of it in this movie, but I liked that Mia was back because of Jacob and that she had a lot to do with that part of the
I will
the
also
storyline,
say
too.
I kind of like the flashback and backstory of Dom
Yeah,
and Jacob.
I enjoyed that a lot.
actually enjoyed it, and both the actors that play the younger ones are great. I thought they were really good.
The problem with the younger one is it reminded me how much better Vin Diesel is in Fast and Furious 1 than he is at this point. And like Dom has just become this weird, gravelly mouthed, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man of a human that just does not move when hurt or anything like that. And you look back at Fast and Furious 1 and he's just this lean, massive, like fast twitch muscle and aggression. He looks hungry in every scene, and I think like the actor that they had playing young Dom in this had a really good job of reconnecting.
That was very convincing that could have been a younger Dom or younger Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Is no one just gonna question how? I mean, Dom is big on integrity and family and things of that nature. And then we found out he shits on his brother 9 movies later.
I kind of like that because
for anybody in here.
Well, his dad was his most important member of his family, and to Dom, his brother killed his dad, and that would be an unforgivable thing. Man. I can kind of see that.
I mean, yeah, but it's like
I like the whole thing where it was revealed that he did it on purpose, and
for me
that was cool. That was cool. Yeah. To at least. Jacob didn't deliberately kill his father.
Exactly.
Right?
See, for me, I thought it would have been more interesting if Jacob had killed the father, and then Dom had to then deal with that and come to terms with that, and that
try to overcome.
And it would make the John Cena, inevitably the John Cena turn towards good that much more intriguing. Overall, it's particularly when you throw in the Mia connection. Then there's two. I wish they did more with Michael Rooker. He's I think a little bit underused in this for as good as he is and everything. This movie travels so much ground. It's huge.
It moves very fast.
It's labyrinthine, and that's something that I don't think they do particularly successfully. In every movie before this, like you pretty much always know, like the locations are distinct enough that you know where you're at, and they have a kind of everyone has a different flavor. And both kind of 8 and 9 here, I feel like, other than the UK in this one, it's just like random tropical place or random.
They go to Tbilisi or whatever it was.
I don't know.
And it was to a point where they were in that city, and then I just forgot that they were in Tbilisi.
Yeah. So
and then I thought it was London, and then they drive out of the city, and then it's a canyon. And I'm like, this is not London. Yeah, this is not what that is.
That actually happened to me as well. So it was just that was I think not as tight for sure. We've already addressed that they're stretching the limits of credulity as far as they can possibly go in this one. Sure. They rip a car through a building with a magnet in this one, which was awesome.
They got me on that one. I was like jaw dropped on that one.
I see that. That was another one where that happened. I just laughed. And I'm like, this is hilarious.
Of course.
It's just like what?
It's just
when Dominic and Jacob are fighting, and like when they're fighting in that building, right? Where he's like ziplining, where Jacob's ziplining across.
Yes.
And he picks him up and like rams
through the house, like through a door frame.
He's not knocked out. He's not unconscious.
No, it's incredible.
It's fucking stupid, dude.
There's 3 people that are tackled to death in this movie. Vin tackles a guy like into an engine block. Yeah. Letty tackles a guy out of a window, like into a bag of like another box, and then there's another guy that gets tackled to death. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. Fucking Vin Diesel full blown banes that guy's back.
Yo, that was brutal. That was visceral.
He's just lynching guys and snapping dudes' backs.
What?
No mercy,
he grabs the chains and brings down like the fucking ceiling underground in his sewer system.
Yes.
You ever seen Immortals?
That has to be.
Yeah, of course I have.
Where he pulls the chains and
but that's like
volcano falls on the thing.
In the fourth one, the fourth one, he kicks out an engine and literally drops an engine or catches an engine block from falling on a guy's face too. Like let's not go beyond and say that these movies have been dedicated to realism from the
this
jump.
is the first one.
Daniel, they haven't, but I think this one is like they went tenfold on this one.
Yeah, but again, like I think this movie it does enough with it, and like I'll even buy, like I'm at this point I'm ready to buy in that this is like they have been chosen, and that they are for some reason just like
explanation, bro.
And like that's fine with me. I don't care. Like I'm just on board.
At this point, we know this is not supposed to be based in any sort of realism. They've
not at all,
so far away from that. That if they end up revealing that by the end of the series, I'm 100% okay with that.
Yeah, let them
at the end when they flip that black truck, the armored vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. That Otto's in. They flip that shit upside down. It rides
for miles.
For like miles,
yeah,
bro. Jack over on the wheels, drive it.
They surf that shit for weeks, dude. Oh man,
tumbles off a cliff and side whips it into a fucking aircraft.
Drone.
Yeah, the drone.
I couldn't believe it, man.
How good was the?
Charlize Theron does not need to be in this.
No, she does. She does. I'll tell you, she does just because for the Yoda puppet line.
That was great.
She, like every scene that she's in, it's just her dissing someone, and then they're just like, "Well, fuck, that was a good burn." I gotta leave.
It's great. I love that they have
Genghis Khan line is good too.
They have the laser beam set up that they use like once, and then it's just lighting for the rest of the time.
She has an impeccable haircut for being in Capture.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening either.
She's dressed very well in some nice leather red, tight pants.
But like, yeah, I actually do agree with you, Tyler, that she feels a little bit miscast right now in terms of what they are having her say and like the kind of way she's playing it. It just doesn't feel like and it's not because Charlize isn't a great actress or she's not up to the task. It just doesn't feel quite right for the characterization that they're going for with her, in my opinion, as well. That being said, like again, there's just enough of it that I'm still great. I think Helen Mirren's awesome in the 5 minutes that she's given. The Cardi B thing is bad, but like pretty much every
we didn't even get to that.
every rapper they've put in this has been bad. Did you catch UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou in the truck there at the end?
I did.
I didn't see that. Where's he at?
He's the guy that's sitting in the tank with Han's adopted daughter.
Okay, yeah, I guess I would have never even.
Yeah, I was just it blew me away that he was just there out of nowhere.
I just literally it pans over to him. And I just looked at Justin. And I was like, I'm just shaking my head. I was like, why?
But they've also done that before too, because you had Ronda Rousey in 7, and then you've got Gina Carano in 6.
I've also said why.
Fair enough. And again, the Cardi B thing isn't even as bad as the Iggy Azalea one in 7 either. That's what I'm saying. Let's not say that these things haven't been in there before. And I love that we get a We Hungry reference. We get.
I love that.
I would say that much.
I'm in on that.
I'm in on that.
I was sold on that.
And even like for as weird and insane as they've made the Tokyo Drift crew, their moment where they hug Han at the end and they reconnect, I thought was really, really nice. Yeah, again, as soon as Han's involved, I think this movie starts firing on all cylinders. It's crazy to me that guy has such an effect and how much I care about him in this franchise for as little as I've seen him.
Because you think he's the coolest fucking guy on the face.
Because he is. He is the coolest guy on this planet.
But they've all eating on some snacks all the time.
They've always played him that way. Yeah. I don't think I hate that they bring him back and immediately undercut it by like having this daughter character who, as she's introduced, seems really awesome, and then is immediately captured and sidelined. Yeah. And then Han doesn't really do much for the rest of it too, even though we've just been told that he has created his own surrogate family here for her. So I really didn't like that bit of it. That being said, all of the lead up to it, the Letty and Mia travel story, I really liked. I love the kind of what they've had. I like that they got to have dialogue with each other. They really haven't seen that as much.
I just love how they very conveniently decided to get ramen right across the street from the Mexico flag.
Listen, this is Fast and Furious world.
I'm aware. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. But
yeah, and then Han's Aaron, the moment where he starts taking out those guys with the sniper rifle, and then the way that they have it set up, they milk it for all it's worth, where half of his face is in shadow still, and it's just, it was so good. There's cheers in our theater. It was incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so clunky how they try and get him back in here. They really didn't do it's just Mr. Nobody is magic well enough, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but again, I'm just so happy he's back. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I'm having to. I'm talking a lot, but that's because I'm trying to defend my positive recommendation.
No,
here.
As you should, man.
It's fun.
But yeah, like you said, there's definitely a fine line in this movie where you're either like, hey, fuck it, I'm sold, or it's like, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more worn out with that too. I feel like if the next one was this level, I'm not sure. Man. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think if they bring Hobbs back, you reintroduce Shaw, I think there's a way that they can do this a little bit more here, guys. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just have a feeling they're gonna bring Brian back, and I know it's gonna.
That would be terrible.
That would be the thing that would really make me upset. For sure.
I have this daunting feeling that they're gonna try and CGI some shit, and because like for you to just speculate that he's just been basically playing Vin Diesel's character from Babysitter for the last fucking 5 years is just it's stupid.
Well,
just leave him out of it.
I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not been doing it for 5 years. I mean, it was just like they said that he started his own family, and then when they needed the kids to get taken care of, he took care of the kids for this movie.
Yeah, but he's like a pinnacle character throughout everything. He's a co-founder of Apple, and you're just gonna insinuate that he's just babysitting. It feels odd to me, and I just leave him out. He doesn't need to be in it.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like it. I guess I understand your thing, because I guess I felt like similar. I didn't like I liked in 8 that they just kind of let him go. Mm-hmm. Is it because they have Mia in there too that you feel like they just have their references to it?
And that character, and I feel like more or less it's maybe like a respect thing, and I think maybe that's just me being such a big Paul Walker fan from the first ones, and like what I know he's done for like the car industry on like a real level. So it's probably a little bit more of an emotional thing for me over anything. But like respect, like I think you should just leave him out of the movies completely. Like they know he's like gone, and so like obviously you can just leave it at that.
All right. Well, I would love to keep talking about this. I think we've said a lot, and we're actually pushing 2 hours here.
Fair enough.
So
we've never done that before.
Yeah, this might be the longest episode we've ever done. So because we still have to do everything, and we just hit 2 hours. So, do we have any final words that anybody's dying to say before we head out of spoilers?
Nah, I had a good time with this movie.
Yeah, it's more of the action movie, Fast and the Furious
popcorn flick.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and give a welcome back to the listeners who skipped over spoilers.
Welcome back.
We're going to go ahead and list F9. Hop upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. It is essentially our rating system. So rather than out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is, we're going to throw up all the movies that we review and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to view the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Okay.
Episode 59, movie 59 on the Entropy list. Tyler Vidalis, the Fast and the Furious aficionado. Where are you putting F9? You were a little bit more negative on it, of course. Where does this land in comparison to, say, something like Tokyo Drift?
47.
Oh, that was quick. 47. Right under Trick or Treat. And above Wonder Woman, a movie that you're also not that high on. Or is that the one that you No, you don't like that one.
No, I don't. I just know, for me at least, there's a pretty sizable gap between Trick or Treat and Wonder Woman. And there are obviously other movies on this list that I would much rather not watch. And this has at least the prestige of something that I'm interested in. So yeah, we'll go with 47.
All right. I'll toss it over to the Nathaniel.
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn on this one. Originally when I was looking at this, I had this at 35, somewhere in there. Kind of Notebook, Insidious area.
Okay.
Then I saw The Descent and Blind Spotting, and those kind of swayed my hand.
Snapped you back to reality a little bit.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to put this one 41, right above Mortal Kombat, right below Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Even though I think I would, like in an ideal world, flip this in Army of the Dead, but I can't put this above Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So
41. Okay. Blake?
You guys are higher than I am.
Oh no. Oh no. I've heard that one other time before, and it's still at the bottom of the list. It's American Pie.
Yeah, I'm honestly pushing a 56.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So below High Tension, above The Purge. A resounding review from BlakeHolder. All right. Well, I guess that leaves my ranking where I think I'm going to be at 46. I think is where I'm going to land here. I was kind of debating between King of the Monsters and this one, and honestly, I love the action in King of the Monsters and just turning my brain off and loving those monsters. Go at it.
Sure.
And A Quiet Place Part 2 I liked enough that I don't think I could put this above that. So between those two things and the ones above that, I definitely think 46 is where it lands for me. I like Trick or Treat. I'm not as high as some of you guys are, especially Ty and Nathaniel. And I think even Blake, you like it a lot too. I'm not as high on that as you guys are, so I think 46 is a good spot for my ranking here personally. So that will leave us with a 40. You said 41, Nathaniel. I'm at 46. Ty at 47, and Blake all the way down at 56. Where does that really? That's an odd place. I don't know how to tie break this here, or to.
It's probably gonna put us in the 50 range.
Yeah, right around 50 or 49.
So then you're probably gonna be looking at Justice League Snyder Cut, Wonder Woman 1984,
or Borat.
Yeah,
I wanted it. I wanted 48.
Sucks too.
48.
That's where I want it.
I could do 48. Blake, are you okay with it at 48, or would you want it even lower than that? Because it would probably be closer to 49 if we ended up doing 48 or 49.
I can't put it up. It would have to. I don't think I can put it above Wonder Woman. The first one.
The first one? It's below Wonder. No. So that'd be below it. So 48.
Be above Borat too.
Yeah, above Borat.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I can live with
48. I can live with that as well. I had a good enough time with this. I like Borat a lot more than some people here, but I did like this one is more than some people here.
I like this one more than Borat.
I mean, I would say so. The only thing that skewed me is I still think this was worse than Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay.
And that's why I was like, I got to do something.
Okay.
I got to do something.
I got to go out there and make a difference.
We shitted on that movie really bad.
We kind of did. Yeah.
I like the Justice for Wonder Woman 84. I feel like, again, these are the two movies that I defended.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, though. I was trying to be as with you on this one and Wonder Woman as possible. But yeah, I think we're going to slide it in there. F9 at 48.
48.
F8. Right below Wonder Woman and above Borat, subsequent movie film. Let's keep it rolling here because we are running long on time. Our movie review for next week is going to be The Tomorrow War. The Chris Pratt flick coming to...
I'm going to make an early call that I'm going to like that less than I like F9.
I wouldn't be too shocked, you guys. Amazon Prime. And I'm not sure if it's coming to theaters.
Amazon's been hidden.
You said it's Chris Pratt?
Yes.
Okay. We'll check it
out. Question mark. Let me see here.
It's not against high competition, Nathaniel, if that's who you're pitting it against already.
Yeah, you are very welcome to go see The Tomorrow War in theaters, apparently.
Wow, okay.
But also free to Amazon Prime, I think.
Let's wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, let's keep going. I'm just trying to confirm here because I'm actually not... Yeah, Fandango and AMC have tickets for this apparently, so I think you can see it in theaters. But also, I guess. Oh wait, this says it's skipping theaters.
Just watch it on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Just find it.
Unless you can find it in a theater, then go pay your theater. Pay them more. Cancel your
I'm seeing so many conflicting things on this Google search, so just find it and watch
Cancel
it. Cancel
your Amazon Prime subscription and pay it to a movie theater instead.
There you go. So join us next week for that review. 5-star review, Nathaniel.
Let's keep on going.
But they get to be read out on the pod. That's all you need to know there. Share the podcast. Please share with a friend, family member, La Familia, and maybe
definitely
La Enemia.
Who knows? Maybe you can make your La Enemia into your La Familia.
You never know. It seems to happen a lot in this franchise.
Especially if they listen to the pod.
There you go. Please follow the podcast. You can do so on Twitter at BanterRow, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod. On YouTube, it's Back Row Banter. Please go subscribe to us there, even if it is not your primary place of listening. Listeners, I know that there is a discrepancy between how many downloads we get off of YouTube and how many subscribers we have on YouTube. So if you're the one that's not subscribed on YouTube, I'm mad at you, okay? That's just how it is. I'm mad.
That's fair.
You have a YouTube account. Everyone has a YouTube account or a Google account, so go make one and go subscribe to us. It is free. And then our email for any questions, comments, concerns, or grievances, anything of the sort, of course, is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. BlakeHolder, where can we find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I actually logged some stuff on there this week. So
Yay.
I watched. And I went and backlogged a few things as well. In the Earth, Spiral, and something else I believe I backlogged on there. So I'm going to see if I can get back on there and keep everything rolling on that. PSN, Xbox, Instagram, Mr. Watercooler, Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. We'll keep it pushing. We'll go Popcorn Nathaniel.
You can find me at on Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd at NSKingrick or NathanielG92. Follow Sandpiper Tapes. Hoping to do some writing this week, folks.
Ooh.
So I will keep you updated on that.
Bit of sizzle.
Bit of sizzle. Watch Tritch coming soon. I got to come up with a new name for that. If you've got a cool name for me, tweet me.
What about the Sandpiper?
It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
We'll have to think of some.
We'll see.
All right. Popcorn.
Who's left? Ty?
Me and Ty.
Popcorn Ty. Tight turn Ty.
I'll go next. I'll go next. I did raise my hand. You can find me on Twitch. We do get Nathaniel kind of set up and squared away for the most part. So if we need to do any little tweaking, we can. But hopefully you will see Adam, Nathaniel, and myself on there, and we can get some Halo down for you. That's twitch.tv/El Trabajo, ELTRABAJO87. And you can find me on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram at Tyler Vidales. That's VIDALES. Adam, get us.
You can find me on Twitter at H24, on Letterboxd at H, and on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/H. Catch our Halo streams there. Yeah, that's it for episode 59, F9. Wow, that lined up really nice, actually.
There you go.
Who knew? Next week is going to be episode 60, The Tomorrow War, and also we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. July 6th was when episode 1 and 2 of Back Row Banter was released. So we're going to have to talk about doing something special for next week or the week after, whatever it ends up being what we do. But yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll BRB.
Hey, everyone. Be excellent to each other, and we'll BRB.
Thanks for stopping by. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever you gotta do to help us get our name out there. We'd really appreciate it. It's one of the only ways that we can grow.
This is true.
We're constantly doing things to kind of help ourselves grow. So we'd like to see what this turns into. So we appreciate anything that you can do for us. Other than that, be grateful for the people that are in your life, specifically your family. And then obviously that's saying your friends are the family that you pick. So be grateful for them. And yeah, we'll BRB.
Yeah, appreciate the love and support as always. Like, subscribe, spread the word. It goes a long way. And that's it for me this week, folks. We'll BRB.
Bye.
America. ready for another lesson.
So can someone clarify for me with this whole Han thing? Are we to assume that
you don't get to talk? You haven't seen 7 and 8.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question. Do I find out the answer in 7 and 8? Is Tokyo Drift just after the events of 4 through 6?
It runs concurrent with 6, basically.
But he's in 6. The events of 3.
Yeah, and then he dies at the end of 6.
He dies again?
No, he dies at the end of 6.
Oh.
3 runs concurrent to 6.
I didn't finish 6.
Right. It's not in order. Doesn't the films go, what, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3?
Yeah, 1, 2,
Gotcha.
1, 2, 4,
Okay.
5, 3, and 6.
I gotcha.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because you are missing like key
theories.
pieces here, which I feel like I'm going to have to explain to you.
What am I missing? I feel like I understood most of the movie last night.
So Owen Shaw, who is the villain in 6.
I got like halfway through 6, so I know him.
Yes, he is in the conclusion of 6 is it blows up with a plane.
Yeah.
That's Jason Statham, right?
No, that's Luke Evans.
Okay.
Giselle Gal Gadot dies falling out of the plane.
Okay.
Han is hurt.
I remember that.
Leaves for Tokyo.
Right.
Then we cut to the car chase scene from Tokyo. The film ends. Cut to car chase scene from Tokyo Drift. Han is doing his thing through there. You see him go around. The car is smashed.
Sure.
Flipped upside down. Car lights on fire. Out walks Jason Statham from the other car.
Okay, yeah.
What other car?
From the car that hits Han. Yes. So then 7 kicks off with Han's death being played basically again, and Statham calling Dom Toretto. He says, "You don't know who I am, but you're about to," and then blows up the house. I'm telling you, you're missing key points here by not watching 7 and 8. His jaw's on the floor over here.
Oh, yeah, my jaw's
haven't
open.
seen 8,
That's
though,
crazy.
Yeah, I know, and that's why after
I'm aware
6,
of that twist.
after 6, everyone was just like, "Holy shit! I'm back in." They fixed 3,
Gotcha,
and brought it up and made it awesome, because then 7 becomes this revenge story of Dom going after Jason Statham, who is Owen Shaw's brother, and like trying to take him out for taking out Han.
But then Jason Statham becomes a good guy somehow.
Yeah,
right?
which is what made everyone upset. Because at the end of 7 they are basically still involved with each other, and 7 is also where they add in the Missandei from Game of Thrones, Natalie Emanuel. Yes. So she's added to the crew in that one. But then
that's the lady who's in 9, right? She looks like she might be like biracial.
Yes,
she's in Game of Thrones.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So then 7 concludes with Jason Statham going to jail from captured by Dwayne Johnson and the crew.
Okay.
And then and now they've added Natalie Emanuel. They've subtracted Han because he has now died in timeline. And then 8 kicks off with Letty gets her memory back by the end of 7 too.
That's what I remember in that.
Yeah.
She's a bad guy in 7.
She's a bad guy in 6. They rescue her in 6. In 7 she doesn't remember anything.
Okay.
And then 7 concludes with her getting her memory back, and is the big emotional payoff of sending Paul Walker off.
Yeah.
Which is this huge, big emotional moment. And then 8 starts with Letty and Dom on their vacation in Cuba. They have a race. Charlize Theron shows up and
Cypher,
yep, and basically says, "Dom, you're going to come work for me. Here's the reason why." We don't know the reason why. We later find out that it is B, Brian the Kid, who is Dom's kid with Elsa Pataki.
A Brazil agent.
Yes.
Elsa Pataki.
She is captured by Cypher and is being used as blackmail for him to go against the crew, basically.
Okay. Now here's my question. In 6, I see Dom trying to rescue Letty. Do they not get back together right away?
No, they do.
So then when does he have this kid with the Brazil chick? Do we ever know?
In between 5 and 6, because he's living with her.
So we don't know. And we only find out that she was ever pregnant and he had a kid in 8?
Correct.
Okay.
Then what else is going on in 8? 8's wild.
I've heard 8's wild.
You have the introduction of Little Nobody, which was Scott Eastwood, who does not appear in this one. You've got the crew basically together. No,
is that Clint Eastwood's son?
Yeah. No Mia. Mia is not present in 8.
Okay.
She and Brian are just referred to as being off screen.
And she's doing Wonder Woman, of course.
No, that's Giselle. Yeah, Mia is Dom's sister.
Mia is Jill from Chuck.
Sure. Jordana Brewster.
Jill
I know her from the Texas Chainsaw
Have any of you guys seen
Massacre.
Chuck?
Mm-mm.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've seen like episodes.
Oh my god, I love Chuck.
Man. Trying to think of what else you need to know from 8 that pays off in 9.
No, that makes everything a lot more sense. But I mean, I still feel like I grasped the movie the other day or last night because I knew all the characters.
Oh, and 8 introduces Helen Mirren, who is the mother of Owen Shaw and Jason Statham. That's who picks up Vin at the airport when she's like, "You're my favorite American."
Okay.
So
yeah.
So
okay.
The best part of 8 is Dom basically brokers a deal with Helen Mirren to tell her where Owen, who is still at this point been in hospital and we haven't really seen him since, where he's being kept. So she sends Deckard, Jason Statham, to pick up Owen, and then they attack the plane, the two of them in like Iron Man suits, and get on board and then clear the plane while Jason Statham has rescued Dom's son, who is literally in a baby carriage, and he's like going around like shooting guys out of the plane while holding on to the baby and like sliding him around and everything. It's the best scene, but that's where they turn Deckard, Jason Statham, into a good guy, which for me is why I still hate 8, because
he should have been the bad guy.
Because Han's dope, and yeah.
Was there a reason? What was the motivating factor for him turning good and them trusting him?
It was kind of like revealed, I think, that Cypher was the one that put Owen onto like the team and then like kicked off his storyline with going after Dom, and so that made Deckard, who's the older brother, always wanted to look out for him, so he's not only angry at Dom for fucking him up, but also at Cypher for introducing him to the life, basically.
Wow, so dramatic and complex.
It's all family, bro.
It's all family. Okay. Makes a lot more sense. Feeling good.
Is it raining by you guys?
Yeah, I just saw lightning outside the window.
Yeah, Mr. Nobody is the first one that actually pulls in. Yeah, that's why they make him a good guy, because Dom has gone rogue with Cypher, and so he's like, Mr. Nobody gets the team together and is like, I'm gonna get the only two people who have tracked down. Yeah,
I remember the trailers for 8 where it's like Dom went rogue.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna get the only two people who have successfully hunted down Dom, Hobbs, which is Dwayne Johnson, and then Shaw. They break him out of prison so that they could track down Dom, which leads to a great scene when all of them have harpooned Dom's Charger, and they're all like trying to like draw and quarter it to keep him in place, and then it's how he like maneuvers his way out of being like pulled in 5 different directions at once, and it's like everyone else is in a car and like reversing the other direction. It's great.
Okay, I need to finish these. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, I kind of want to now. Now that I heard that Jason Statham thing at the end of 7,
6
or 6.
6, yeah.
Well, good luck.